Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
Already your horizons have expanded, and in general you are feeling, let's say, a little confused, some of you, and uncertain. That's all right. It's not an easy process to integrate all this information at once, especially here in the hot plate of Sedona. And we were going to advise you right now to use your dream state this evening to integrate what has occurred. This land here, the land of red rocks, has long been used for healing. Native peoples have come here. Giants was a favorite place of the southwestern giants. And you can utilize it as well for your own intentionality. There are vortices here, there's energy, there's hot spots. So before you go to sleep tonight, let's say, put up your secure aura and make an intention that you are going to integrate all that you learned today, and that while you are sleeping, we've done this before here, you are going to imagine that you are lying on a golden table, and that your personal guides and those that you trust from other lifetimes who operate with high intelligence and value and integrity, that they will work with you this evening on an energetic level, hands-on, as you lie on a golden table. And you can make your intentions before you sleep. You say golden table, and if you wake up tomorrow and say, oh pooey, I forgot to think of golden table, it's all right, it's in right now. Unless you cancel it. You can cancel it right now, but otherwise it's in. But it would be good if you reactivate it just before you fall asleep. Golden table, integrating all I'm learning. I'm being worked on, taken to a higher level of understanding. And this is easy to do with a group. It is easy to do in Sedona, and we will be working with you along with others. Again, as we emphasized, there is urgency to get you all up to snuff and to understand your dependency on lights and buttons, and how important it is to straddle reality as if it's still the 50s or 60s. Slow down. Otherwise you will burn out your nervous system and you will become very ill. Jupiter, the bit of astrology here, until August is in the sign of Virgo. So you Virgos, ideally, are having a pretty good time. You Pisces are feeling relatively good. Jupiter's opposite your side. It's squaring the Geminis and the Sagittarius, who are under fire for other reasons. You are learning that astrology can be complicated, and you are learning that just with your sun signs alone, things are going on. And then there's the entirety of the rest of who you are. So this is a good instruction for you. Most important, as we proceed now with answering questions and getting a dialogue with you, is we would like to address the issue that was brought up by the gentleman. What is his name? Was it Carl onto this side here? The prophecy question? Joseph, all right. It is important to understand that prophecies are not inevitable just because they have been laid out by Anunnakis and others who want to seed your reality does not mean that they are inevitable, that is the path and the only way. You are free to choose what you want to experience, but you must make that choice. If you become oblivious, or if you kowtow to the inevitability of the Lord's word and the prophet's word, then of course you are subjected to, you become a member of that particular clan of consciousness. But we are addressing the free thinkers. And your job for the next number of years you will find as you become more aware, is not just to manage you and who you are. You're going to hear things about what's happening in the world, about more war, and proclamations. And people for the last few months have been saying, is this World War III? Have we started? It started. No, it hasn't. There's a fever out there, a war fever, that wants to fulfill itself, yet does not have to. This is the point we want to make. Prophecies are like saying, hey, there's junk in the road up ahead, steer around it if you don't want to hit it. You understand this? Part of your job will be to cancel storms, to de-energize weather changes and earth changes. When you hear there's tornadoes in another part of the U.S., you may have to take a minute to send energy, speak to the tornadoes, calm them down, lift them up. You are going to be doing more work in managing reality, Saturn, and creating by intention, but without manipulating others to get what you want. This is the power of the mind. And you cannot use the mind to combat. You can use the mind to calm. And some of the weather elements are very upset. They are conscious beings as well, because they are being manipulated. You were talking about Joseph in our vehicle sharing the same birthday with Nikola Tesla. Mr. Tesla, of course, was a small giant. He stood at 6'6", a Serb. And then he would wear 12-inch high shoes to prevent him from getting electrocuted. And he always said that ETs gave him his info. People thought that was so outrageous. Well, now you know that the ETs, lots of them with different intentions and different kinds, can deliver all kinds of information, especially if they want electrical advancements, or if they want to shift the belief system, such as creating Marian apparitions. Now, our vehicle mentioned this, that there were some 20 or so Marian apparitions that were legitimate sightings from Medjugorje in Yugoslavia, which has now been torn apart, to Long Island, to Guadeloupe, a few places in France, etc. And of course, the reports were all paralleling certain messages and certain things that were happening. And at first it was said only the children could see this. And then there was weather changes, and the sun would move in the sky. And of course everyone fell to the knees. And Mary's main message, which was interesting, in the early years, was pray. Pray, pray for peace. Prayer is the same word for intention. The Anunnaki say, pray to us. But this Mary, Ninmah perhaps, said pray. Pray for peace. It's the power of I'm going to have a zippity-doo-dah-day. There's no difference. And so we would say that these apparitions were sent at times to primitivos. We are not insulting you, but there's people who know very little. And they see something in the sky and they have to get down and worship it. This has been going on for hundreds of thousands of years. Ideally, if something manifests from the sky in front of any of you, you're not going to drop to your knees. Think about that. Nonetheless, in the later years, the apparition, the Long Island Bayside Mary, would come in and say, there's evil in the church. Leave the church. What kind of Mary is that? But you see, if you understand that this apparition, it is not really Mary, it is technology. It is technology, Anunnaki technology, holograms. that sometimes had holes in them or they weren't quite all there. And the holograms were sent to stabilize people, control them. And you understand that if there are two warring sides to the Anunnakis, the warring families, they can both use the same technology to confuse and trick people. I'll get Mary to support my side. No, I'll get the Mary apparition to support my side. And the humans are totally confused. And then they end up worshipping a Coke can. You've heard that story, yes? A Coke bottle. They end up worshipping something and become in awe of something. This is just technologies. This is what you're up against, only it's going to be way bigger than Marian apparitions. It's going to be some big stuff, because there are those who want to fulfill some of these prophecies, and they will do what they can to confuse you and to keep you from figuring things out. Very important to remember that. Let's see if there's anything else that's really important to remind you of. All right, we're going to proceed with sharing, discussion, getting to know you. Please ask reasonable, sensible questions, not because you want to know, but imagine, does everyone else in the room need to know what you are asking about? And just to tie up an end of a question, there was a reference to the dolphins and whales. We'll say this too. Saturn and Neptune is going to bring, squaring Neptune, is going to bring a tremendous loss of life that will become very evident to people all over the world. Loss of life in the Neptunian realms, Enki's realms, the oceans. It's not just Fukushima. There are underground battles that are occurring. There are many underground bases and waterways around the world, from Lake Titicaca to in Bolivia and Peru, to Lake Baikal in Siberia, to sightings from the Great Lakes to off the entire coast of West Coast USA, Hawaii, everywhere. It's everywhere. And there's underground battles that take place with very high-level advanced naval technologies of the world. Human people are part of this, and then they are thrown to the wolves afterwards so that they forget and have no idea what they were part of. There's a lot of damage coming. It could be floodings. You could be, some people are speculating that the rising of waters that has been reported is a prelude perhaps to the Noah era. It's not that the caps are going to slip, that the firmament is going to fall and flood your earth. We do not see this. But we see coastal regions all over the world in the next few years undergo shocking, sudden, surprising, can't function any longer, too close to the coast. And this is going to be an issue. A death in the water. Of course, the dolphins and whales do carry a certain highly evolved code. They are stabilizers of the ocean waters, Enki's territory. Enki is command of water, command of earth. Ea, as he is known, earth is named after him, E-A-T-H. So, troubles with the waters, a die-off in the waters, and the reliability that the food that you have been producing from the waters may disappear. This is a very likely scenario in the next number of years. It does not look easy to rehabilitate. There are entirely too many dead zones. The oceans are becoming acidic, filled with life of jellyfish and things of this nature, grasses that thrive in acidic waters. Big change in terms of the type of terrain and environment, and of course, it's all planned. It's all planned. You are, in the end, as we've said, final days of final days. Endings imply beginnings, but these are important things to understand. Do your best to heal the waters around you, because fresh, clear, available drinking water may come at a premium. They are already shipping air to Beijing. Think about that. They're selling Rocky Mountain air on the streets of Beijing. Quite inventive, yes? You're looking for a business, perhaps? We are teasing you. All right, let's spin those beanie wheelers. Let's get smart. Let's get really clear. These are recordings. Let's impress everyone with the kind of subjects, the kind of people you are, what you and everyone needs to know to have peace, to be fearless, but to be reasonably logic and grounded. Who would like to begin this afternoon's discussion?
I have a question.
That was quick on the draw. You are?
This is Carl.
Carl, all right, welcome.
Thank you for being here. My question centers around some of the geometric shapes that are showing up on some of the poles of the planets. And
On some of the poles?
of, like, say, Saturn, there is a hexagon on top of the pole, North Pole, and it showed up, I believe, in the late 80s. I would like to know if this is a result of some of the new energies our solar system is going through, or some of the new consciousness that is now coming to the surface, or...
How did it show up? Please elucidate.
I saw it on a NASA video, and it's there, and it's also Richard C. Hoagland had shown.
It's there as a light form, an energy form, or as a construct?
It is a cloud formation of unmistakable hexagon, and it is a very quick movement, hundreds of miles an hour, and it is unmistakable, and it is still there to this day. Sorry, I was just curious if what produced it is it having to do with the consciousness of the planets itself?
No, it has nothing to do with consciousness.
All right.
This is not about consciousness. This is about purposely being constructed for signals, for energy balancing. Remember, the Anus are the colonizers of your solar system. They have taken ownership of every planet and assigned planetary rulership to the various members of their pantheon. Where possible, they colonize. Earth is for life. Mars used to be for life, but they suffered problems. The Anus and others fought. And there's evidence that things got out of hand, just as they did with Atlantis. But they got really out of hand on Mars. Yet there's massive evidence of huge buildings on Mars. And you will find that other planets, their moons, have evidence of such. The moons of Saturn are colonized by the Anunnaki, as it looks Ceres is, Pluto is. And what they do, they know how to use shapes, whether the shapes are etheric shapes, cloud shapes, light shapes, energy shapes, or shapes of stone. And such as you recognize the pyramid shape, the tetrahedron on Earth. These are storehouses, and they tend to generate energy. They know how to blend energy and stones and the cosmic radiation. The shapes, any kind of geometric shapes, manage the flow of energy. This is why native peoples had a predilection, they say, for living in the circular structure, versus much of the rest of the world lived in the square or rectangular structure. There's plenty of evidence that indicates that geometric shapes, configurations affect consciousness. And we would say that the Anus are looking to reclaim stability and follow through on big projects in your solar system. And they are using as many planets as they can to mark their territory. That's a very simple way of saying it. Who else has a question?
Pleiadians, hello.
Hello. You are?
David.
David, welcome. What's your question?
I heard today that there's great problems in the Anu world.
Yes, there are.
Pardon?
There are.
25 years ago, the probability was very high that Lizzie would show up to the planet, present himself as God, and the rest of the world would say, yes, this is God, has that probability changed?
Where did that probability come from?
Us, I guess.
We are not clear on what you are asking at all.
Well, it was disturbing that a Lizzie would actually show up in the flesh.
Lizzie, you are talking about reptilian beings?
Yeah.
How about being really clear so everyone understands what you are saying?
A new lizard being would show up in physical form as God and tell us how he created all of us. And then the rest of us would fall down and worship him as God.
And so you are asking...
What's the probability of that happening now? Maybe it's decreased.
The Anus have been in conflict, of course, about their plans. And as you understand their time sequence, they may take 50 years to pull things off, which is just a few days to them. You follow? 15 years is a day and a half. So 50 years is not long, but you could be long gone by the time they fulfill some of their agendas. What we can say is that by 2027, it appears that the systems that you have been a part of are completely poofed. That there will be depopulation, conflicts, perhaps governmental overthrows, perhaps so much turmoil that it's difficult to see at this point how the props will come out. We believe that you are asking, would Anu return or Enki return in reptilian form to say, I am the creator God you have been praying to? Is that what you are asking?
Yes, it is.
All right, it took us a while to get that out there. It's probable, yes, it's probable. It's probable. Would you be prepared for it? No, not at all. It's not something that the human mind is presently capable of accepting. This is why our vehicle quoted George Bush #1 when he said, someone asked him, are you going to tell us the truth about UFOs? And he said, the people of Earth are not ready for it. That's a big indication. Now, in terms of reptilian energy, the big honcho, the big in charge being that all people worship and turn to for thousands of years in China was the dragon. All over the Far East, it is the reptiles and the dragons. The dragon is how it is appeared, the dragon. Look today at how many people, men and women, have begun to cover their body with what you call paintings, permanent paintings, that have a sort of a reptilian feel to them. Some of them literally have scale-like images implied. There is definitely a raising of this serpent reptilian awareness. The gods of South America, Anunnaki, of course, one of the sons of Enki of Africa, Enki's son Ningishzida, was sent with his giants, his team of miners, that they were later called the Olmecs, but they came into the Toltec region of the Americas, and they began to cultivate civilizations, build ports, but they were mining for gold. They were definitely mining. And they are still interested in gold. And there are countries today, Russia, China, India, who have made very big pronouncements about how much gold they have in their vaults. Recently, the state of Texas withdrew $1 billion worth of gold bullion from the Federal Reserve. The Feds don't like Texas. Not at all. Texas and a few other places are ready to do splitsky. This is happening all over the world, and those in the know are recognizing that gold not only is going to be the new dollar standard, it's going to be a return to Anunnaki type of a value system, but the Anunnakis are going to honor the countries who have the most gold. All over India, it is all about serpents, reptiles, and women with many arms, and humans with elephant heads. And what do you think all this is? Enlil's daughter, Inanna, sometimes called Ishtar, it was actually his granddaughter. And she would be the great-granddaughter of Anu. But when he visited, he had what you call a congress with her. And she became a favorite of her great-grandfather Anu, and he gave her the Indus Valley. Today you call that Pakistan. Seems to us there's all kinds of problems there as well. And she owned India. And if you look at the Hindu culture and the various caste systems, and you look at the genetic engineering, she appealed to her uncle, Enki, who had his laboratories in East Africa, and they started again to experiment. Is it likely that one of those reptilian gods will appear in reptilian form because of the age shift and change? Likely, but it could be not in your lifetime, because for them it's a few days or weeks. For you, it may be decades. However, we will say that you are going to be confronted sooner rather than later with the worldwide recognition that there are craft in the skies. And there's going to be a lot of confusion and false stories put out, and then it could be that a false war is started as if UFOs, bad UFOs, are attacking you. And then, the saviors come. But it is staged. Do you follow this? Mm-hmm. Because in some way, some of these Anunnakis know that it's time to have revelation. And they can do things. They can mess things up in an extraordinary way. But they can fix things very quickly if they want to. Yet they still need humans to do their work on Earth, to build for them, to put this in place. It seems to us that you have had in your Neptunian glamours, you call them films and TV shows, but they are all set to confuse you and entertain you, that there have been reptilian beings portrayed as kings, yes? Yes. And as gods and regal beings. This is all preparation and revelation of the method. But yet, will it all come down? Everything now is a wild card. And even the Anus are not sure if their plans are going to be implemented, because they rely on humans to implement them. And if there's one characteristic that all you humans have in common, it's your saving grace. You are totally unpredictable. You can be those stuck cows in the field for millions of years, and then suddenly you decide to stand up on your hind legs. This is what keeps you so valuable and yet a befuddlement to many celestials. All right, that question we trust is addressed. Who else has something they want to know?
Hi, Pete.
Hello, who is it?
Rebecca.
Rebecca, welcome. What's your question?
Thank you. I have a two-part question, and it is, how and why do you benefit by playing the trickster coyote? The peas themselves.
Why? How do we benefit? Because we get you to do things by tripping you into it. And then you end up becoming less dependent on systems that are draining your energy. We have been accused of tricking you into higher states of consciousness, but playfully. What's your second question?
My second question is related to the fact
No mousy voices. Project your voice across the room, please.
your message today has been a little down. It's deflating, and I'm looking for some upliftment, and I've been hearing a lot about from other sources about upliftment of humanity, and I'm not hearing any of that in your message, and I'm wondering if, for example, Nisara, if that is a reality on any level.
No. Every year someone asks the same question. No, it's another one of those, how stupid are you? And all this upliftment, let's say, when Obama said at his State of the Union address, anyone who says our financial system is not sound is preaching fiction. People. So this is upliftment. But it's upliftment based on phoniness. If we are not uplifting you, we are sorry, but this is not the time to give you, it's not morning in America. It's not the Reagan era. You are on the verge of a major confusion on the planet. The upliftment we offer you is to use your noodles and to somehow find your way using your mind and using all the uplifting techniques that we in our vehicle have produced for years. But for us to say, oh, everything's glorious now, would be a betrayal of what we know is true. You are looking to be deluded. And many people want to have the nipple of denial. Please just tell me everything's okay. Inspire me. Reassure me. It's not okay. And if you start looking around the world, you can see that all of these little pieces are going to lead to some manner of something very large that's going to shake up humanity. And that is the reality. How you deal with it is ideally what we are inspiring you and teaching you to do. If that's not enough, then it's not enough. Perhaps we are not the teacher for you. Perhaps you need Nisara.
Thank you.
Waste your money on it. Waste your times on psychological mind control operations. Who else has a question, please?
This is Tatiana.
Who is it?
Tatiana.
Tatiana, welcome. Loud and clear, please.
Thank you. I have two questions. I live in LA where we are sprayed almost daily.
Why do you choose to live there where you are participating in being poisoned?
I feel and have felt compelled from the time I was very young to be an instrument in the transformation and leading people out of the.
So you are a martyr. Basically, you are telling us that you are living in a place that's being sprayed every day, but you choose to be there. To us, that makes no sense.
Well, I have plans to move, but for the moment, I have children and I'm tied there.
So what's your question?
My question is, I have been personally affected and am now treating others who have been personally affected by this RD intel, which I would like some clarification around if it is in fact the same thing as what we are calling Morgellons disease and nanotechnology. And if so...
It's all these technologies. It does not make any difference what you call them. They are all designed to weaken and confound the human environment. And the more dense the area is, then the more attack you are going to be under, because it is easier to go after a large group of people all at once. That's why we asked you right away, why are you staying there? It makes no sense. You cannot save other people. Say it again, please.
I feel very strongly to pull and lead certain people out. It's been a time to find my clan and have been inspired most recently to move out of the region. But in the meantime, I feel like I have work to do in terms of helping people with detoxifying, or at the very least neutralizing the negative effects of this artificial intelligence that has invaded many of our bodies. I've personally been able to detoxify quite a bit through frequency, through magnetic, a very strong pulsed electromagnetic frequency in combination with other detox methods. Why are some of us being affected with lesions, cognitive difficulties, memory loss, skin crawling sensations, and others are not? Are some allergic to it?
Some people are much stronger than others. It's just the way it goes. If you are fair, you recognize you are not all created equal. You have human bodies, but you have soul mess-ups. You've all screwed up many times. You have to pay for your consequences in other lifetimes. And so sometimes you have ignored the body. Sometimes you've chosen a genetic line that has a lot of pity, sickness, worry. And let's say that, and then you live in an area that is being bombarded. Understand that there are people who are much stronger than others. And when you become very, very ill, the highest evolution of that illness is, of course, to become a healer, to turn that illness around into positive purpose, and then to help educate others. But, for example, if you say, I'm standing close to the fire and I'm getting burned, and I've learned to teach people to move back from the fire, but I still stand there to get burned. Hello?
Well, I'm not getting burned anymore, but I'm curious why other people are not being healed by the same methods that healed me, and what are practical...
It has to do, of course, with your beliefs about your physical body, the strength of your immune system, and let's say some of this strangeness, especially artificial intelligence, these kinds of things, some of it is left over, being re-stimulated from what you call Atlantean times. Some of it, we're going to be neutral here, some people are targeted specifically because of family affiliations. If you have family members who are military, medical, university medical, or government agencies, even if you are related by distance, experimentation often occurs along those branches. And over eons, the ETs will target certain bloodlines, family lines. This is why some people can have multi-generational, what you call abduction or snatching experiments. Certain DNA is watched. We would say on a higher level, the reason you created it serves a purpose for you, but also you are part of an experiment. We'll leave it at that. Who else has a question, please? Hello. You are?
My name is Guy.
Guy, welcome. You are a real guy. All right, go for it.
Well, there's the two factions of the Anunnaki.
There are two factions, well, two main factions, and they split into all manner of factions.
It seems like the Enki's faction is a little of the lesser of two evils. Maybe he's helping us a little bit.
Enki's, he's saying Enki's line perhaps may be less, what did you say?
Lesser of the two evils.
The lesser of the two evils.
And so
you mean Hillary or Trump? That kind of Actually, we call him the trumpet, and she is Shrillery. And that sums them up. You understand? We are good at naming. All right. So
to kind of get to the essence of the difference between Enlil and Enki.
Yes, the difference.
They have different mothers.
Yes, they have
very
different.
Little that I could find about Ki.
Yes.
Enki's mother, and maybe you could tell.
She's the consort.
What kind of being she was, and if she was different from Antu.
She came first. You know, she was a love of Anu, Ki, and of course the official name of Earth is Ki. According to the Anunnaki listings of the planets, they have various names for them. We believe Mars may be Lamu or some such. Earth used to be Tiamat, but then it became Ki. And then when Enki, or Ea as he was known, was sent here, he was a favorite, a genius. He is of the reptilian line. He does not attempt to hide it. He is the serpent in the Garden of Eden. He is the reptilian dragon. His family line, he has the son Marduk, and this is where the problems come in. Marduk is his son born on Nibiru. So Marduk's grandmother was Ki, and Ki adored Marduk, as Ki adored Anu and her son Ea. Then there was the necessity of the heir, and Anu had congress with his half-sister, which would be his official partner on the throne. And in this pantheon of beings, the consort, just as you have a king and he has his harem and he will have 1,000 wives and hundreds of children, he will pick his favorites. They are not legitimate heirs, but they carry out the work of the realm. It is only the heir that can inherit the throne, and the heir must have the proper DNA, whether on earth or in the heavens. The heir must have the proper DNA. This is why on earth, the matings that you are told happen are not exactly what happens. In other words, not everyone is the father of who they say they are the father of. The mother can't hide it, but the father's paternity can be deeply hidden. This was part of Princess Diana's trauma. We'll leave it at that. Now, Enki, of course, Antu was the half-sister of Anu. Anu was, he had to depose someone else. He is very aggressive. He wants to create empire. He knows the more children he has, and the more he separates them, the greater his control over empire will be. So he sends 3 premier ones to Earth, each of them with a different mother. And of course, the records here were not made by Anu. They were made by Enki and Enlil and the other Anunnakis, and they were dictated to scribes. And so they told the story that they wanted you to translate because they knew, with their help and their prophecies and their dimensional watchers and guardians, that they would develop you through the flood era, the post-diluvial era. That would be the major flood that happened 11,000 BC, or about 13,000 years ago. The age of Leo, opposite where you are now entering the age of Aquarius. Half a great year. And civilization had to be rehabilitated. It was a long, difficult haul. And it was during this time that the records were left and set. And so they could hide a lot of things. They could hide a lot of their mistakes. It was said that the flood came along to wipe out all that was not functioning. And that all that was left was Noah. And many people, as we said earlier, feel that this potentiality of this sort of grand cataclysmic imprint can return again. We would say not in that capacity, but you are crossing a big threshold. And this is why you're incarnated. And you're not incarnated to escape. You are here to hear the tough story. And we're going to tell you the truth. We're not going to pad it for you. So, the Anunnaki obscure their own records because they want you to have a certain picture of them. And because they are very good about timing, and they have set up your timing mechanisms, and they understand cosmic influences and times of acceleration, they basically have been rehabilitating Earth, preparing for big changes. And again, nothing is set into stone. They are impulsive at times. They created war again about 4,000 years ago. And they themselves are not even certain of their own reliability. They again, the greatest thing we can say is the turmoil that you are experiencing is part of the turmoil that they are in. And it can be worked out. And that is why you are here. But it's not going to be an easy task. Who else has a question, please?
Peace.
Yes.
Hello, my name's Cecilia.
Your name is Cecilia?
Yes.
Welcome. What is your question?
Enki's gift. I'm wondering why he would put something in our DNA that would activate it. What would be his motivation? And when it does fire off,
It has been firing off slowly.
how is that going to change the person, and how's that going to change that person's timeline?
It's going to change the person. First of all, he would encode this because back long ago, Enki could see that there were too many problems in the family. And that his mother was pushed away, the brothers fought, the sisters fought. He could see the psychosis. And he was your creator, so to speak, your progenitor, with Ninmah, and he's the genius, and he encoded the DNA with, let's say, some backdoors. You understand that language because of your computers. Yes, backdoors. A little bit of an opening that later on, if you want to come back and fix something, you can get in. You follow? Enki and others of these genetic engineers, and we said long time ago that it is the reptilian race who do understand genetic engineering. Nonetheless, Enki can readjust, retweak human DNA or any DNA life form by very advanced technologies. And he and many others know that when there are certain celestial configurations, this is what time and calendars are based on, that things get set off. And Enki's gift, or the awakening of humankind, the purpose is to understand the dilemma of the Anunnaki story, which is your story, your dilemma. You are acting out their psychoses. You are confused as they are. And there's a potential to turn it all around. There's a grand potential to use these powers for goodness. Just as there's no shortage of money in the world. Yet the criminals that are running all the political systems, recently it was said that we believe at one of those Davros meetings when the criminals get together, the world movers and shakers, sometime in 2016, 1% of the people will reach the magical number. They will own 50% of the world's wealth. Right now there are 2 billion people, 3 billion people, 4 billion people, some such, that live on $2 a day. There's plenty of money in the world. And you have people say, we're going to redistribute it. You can't get things for free. You give people things for free, they get lazier and lazier and lazier. But you are under misconceptions of reality, and your systems need to crash because they are unfair. And when things blow up and crash, especially if they do so without destroying life, it gives an opportunity for restructure, rebuilding, restoring fairness, and restoring the proper use of energy. But we would say all these green people and all these people promoting what's called climate change and weather control, they want to penalize anyone who is denying that climate change is taking place. So there's plenty of very good things that can happen. So how is this going to happen? It's going to take a lot of good people seeing through what's not working, looking at the hard stuff, and making intentions and finding solutions. This is what it's really all about. Did you have something else to ask?
Yes, I did. Thank you for asking. Could you give us an update on what's going on underground? You said that some facilities have been taken over and that there's going to be some people from underground showing up, and I just want an update. And I would say that what you've given us as far as the tools, if I go out in the forest and people are disappearing, if I just use your simple techniques, will that, and my intention to be safe, will that be enough to protect me from being taken from certain entities?
All right, the rest of the group probably does not know what she is speaking of, but you are listening to our CDs, yes?
Yes.
It's been reported for a while now that people are disappearing. It's been old, you know, you have the people at, what was it called, Roanoke or some such, the Lost Colony. There are places in Australia, people have disappeared. But now they are, it appears people are reporting here, there, everywhere, that young men are disappearing in broad daylight, in the middle of the day, in urban areas. They walk out, and then suddenly they're gone. It's generally, the snatching appears to be occurring now to young men, and the commonality is of German descent. What Cecilia is asking is, can she go into the forest regions and using the tools of protection that we have given her, can she be safe? We cannot give you a guarantee on that, Cecilia, simply because there's too much craziness going on, and there are forces connected to earthbound forces of a militaristic nature working with extraterrestrial forces using invisibility techniques and selectively targeting certain individuals, young men particularly, for their DNA. And then they are found dead, left in water. A lot of times they are after the sperm of these young men. And a thread of commonality is that these young men have German descent. Not all. That's just one branch of it. But then there are women disappearing, lots of people disappearing in the national parks and forests. There is a man, his name is, we believe, David Pleiadians, who has been researching this. He has law enforcement, military background, some such. And around the national park regions of the United States, there's a creep factor that rangers and others won't talk about. And that is that people disappear in broad daylight. They walk a corner, they're gone. Then their bodies are found miles away, shoes off, pants down, in total inaccessible areas where it would be impossible to climb to get to. Some are saying it's like something reaches out of the sky to grab them. It's long been known that cattle mutilations, animal mutilations have been going on, some sort of genetic harvesting of stem cells, of tissue, of this kind of thing. People have received abductions from the dream state. Your intentions, of course, are very powerful. And they do set up protection. But the forests are not as they used to be. Even the animals are under duress. There are sightings of very strange things in the woodlands of the world. Now, just to give you a little bit of a background, it was said that when Teddy Roosevelt, he was head of the Rough Riders, he was your president in the 1800s, we believe the war with Philippines or some such like this. Nonetheless, he was very big on exploring the West. And he went to the Dakotas and the northern part of the West, and he was instrumental in setting up the national park systems. And he would hire trackers and guides and trappers, and they would work with the native peoples. And they were always told stories about monsters that walked the lands. And the native peoples had all manner of warnings and protections and areas to stay away from. That there were creatures that would come and devour you, or snatch cattle, or these kinds of things. We are saying this has long been around. But everything is stirred up now. We would not recommend going on your own far deep into the wilderness in today's world. Does that give you an answer?
Yes, thank you.
All right. People, strangeness is afoot. And you do create your reality, but things do happen as well. You may think you're smart, but you may not know what you're up against. There's lots of things. The national parks are very remote. And so many creatures, extraterrestrials, visitors, have set up bases inside mountains in remote areas. And genetic experimentation has continued to go on in underground laboratories. Remember, the Anunnaki do not live on the surface of the planet. Because the planet has such a large elliptical orbit, it moves far, far out into the cosmos, outside your solar system, far beyond any solar influence. Their planet, according to their records, is Vulcan. Vulcan also is another name for Enki. He was called Vulcan, we believe, in the Roman pantheon. Nonetheless, they have volcanoes. They use thermal heat. The volcanic richness has created protection in their atmosphere, and yet they want the gold in gold dust far, far out to protect them. Basically, they know how to live inside of planets. They have honeycombed the inside of your planet. It is filled with underground cities, bases, tunnel systems from long, long ago. That's what the wars are about, to go back and claim the territory and the openings. And since the early 1980s, in the USA and other places around the world, Russia and China have just recently jumped on. Massive underground construction is taking place. Massive. This is the big secret project today, to become an engineer who knows how to be a tunneling mining expert. This also was Mr. Ahmadinejad from, what was it? Iran. Yes, Iran. Persia. Questions?
Peace.
Over here, please, yes?
Hi, yes, this is Pulse.
Who is it?
Pulse.
Pulse?
Heartbeat, Pulse, yeah.
Loud and clear. What's your question?
My question is
Welcome.
in regards to the body.
The body.
In regards to the body, earlier your vehicle was talking about the importance of water and minerals and sleep. And I'm curious about the importance or the relevance of fasting and what that does to regenerate the cells. I've explored practices that in the Ayurvedic and in the Chinese tradition of Bigu, where they use Qigong and other meditative methods while being in nature to wean off of food entirely in a way that their body is able to self-regenerate. I'm curious if the body is moving in that direction.
No.
Okay.
It's too fanatical. We've had people to say, can I live on the sunlight, staring at the sunlight? Can I be a breatharian? Can I fast? Fasting is very good, especially intermittent fasting. It allows the body to rest. You have been conditioned to eat, and you get fatter and fatter and fatter because you don't run around and use the body anymore. It would be a good idea to, let's say once in a while, have a day, a month, where you have liquids. Or you say, I'm just going to have for a week, I'm going to have liquids in the morning, I'm just going to have a meal later in the day. Don't get fanatical. There are all manner of crazy ideas today that are trendy and cool, and most of them are too out of balance. Look for moderation, look for sensibility, recognize everyone's body is different, and do not intend to be some sort of idealized figure. Feel good in your body. Do not be afraid of food. Love food. Cook food. Eat reasonably, fast reasonably, rest reasonably, and don't jump on any trendy bandwagons. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Good. You're not going to live without food. You're not going to live without air, or on air, and you're not going to live on sunlight. You are creatures, and accept your creaturehood. If you skip food for your animals, what's going to happen? They're going to look at you. Why are you being so mean? You want to clean your body? Give it a rest. Don't stuff it with so much stuff. Have a watermelon day. That's very good. Get some good watermelon that's not been sprayed. Treat yourself to a flush out. Do some good drinks, make juices. But be reasonable. Don't get fanatical, please. And enjoy life. Have a glass of wine. Have that cup of coffee now and again. Have that ice cream cone. But not every day or 5 times a day. You follow? You are here for a bite of pizza. You are here for good sex. You are here for fantastic sunsets. You are here to love, to have fun. And there's a lot of lots of people who want to make money on you on the internet. Click on this fast fix. Click on this. You'll lose 50 pounds in 5 minutes. You'll do this. You'll feel 1,000 times better. You're being scammed. It's a racket. Demonstrate to us people that you are flooded with common sense, reason and logic and common sense. Demonstrate it, please. Who has a brilliant question?
Pete.
Is it brilliant?
Almost.
That's a quick save. We have to give it to you. When she said almost, that was a quick comeback. What's your name?
My name is Athena.
Athena, all right. Go for it, Athena.
Thank you.
What's your almost brilliant question?
It could be brilliant. I'm thinking about you were talking about everything going underground and the people underground.
What do you mean everything? We're not saying everything
the cities underground.
Say it again.
Middle Earth inhabitants, the tunnel systems and so forth. And so this brings me to fracking and opening the ground. And is this also another...
It's being used as a cover to flood the interior regions with toxic chemicals in the name of fracking, which has no validation in today's market. The frackers, it's a good question there. We'll give you this almost brilliant on it. The frackers, of course, need, just as the Saudis and many others, the Russians, the Venezuelans, they need oil to be at least $100 a barrel. Oil got down, we said if it goes below 40, it's the end. And it got down to, 27, 25. There's no economic logic to carrying out fracking. The banks are these oil loans are being called in now. And of course, all the companies didn't make any money. So the next bust is the oil loans. And this is going to destroy you massively. The banks are going to all crash because they lent out, U.S. banks, way too much money to this fracking business, and you're not getting anything out of it. But you see, what they used to do is go down and do underground nuclear testing. How many times did you hear that? We're going to do underground testing, underground testing. How many nukes do you have to let off underground? That's a cover, and has been from the 50s, 60s onward, for bombarding various nests and areas of inner earth habitation. The inside of the earth is massive. Some areas, of course, are more habitable than others. The Anunnaki, because they live inside their own planet and without sunlight, as you know it, they have ways of generating food and growing things in an environment without sunlight. There have been whistleblowers who have taken pictures of the tunnel systems that the military has built, and they are massive. Some of these tunnel systems, you could line up 20, what you call those big trucks that are on the highways. Semis. Good collection there. You could line up 20 of these semis, nose to tail. These are how wide some of the systems are inside the earth. It's the Germans, under the Anunnaki influence, who are the premier miners on the planet, the metallurgists. They have built the technology to tunnel inside of the earth. But again, the Anunnaki have used the Germans, particularly in terms of Nazi Germans, to anchor part of their agenda on the earth. Again, family disputes, families taking over different countries, people in countries, to establish military might. The Anunnaki use human counterparts to build military might, and then they get you to fight wars that are their wars, and the winner takes all on an Anunnaki level, and the humans are simply the fallout for all of this. Questions? Yes, a high priest over here, deep voice. Who is it?
This is Hashem.
Hashem, welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Our pleasure. Thank you for being here.
You had mentioned earlier hereditary weaknesses, and
now everyone has hereditary weaknesses. Are you activating them?
Well, my question was, we've also been told that we create our own reality. So I think my question is, could you help me understand why would we create a reality where we're coming into a body that has certain hereditary or genetic illnesses or weaknesses, or for instance children that are born with certain health issues?
Excellent question.
And if those can be healed or changed.
And your name again?
I'm Hashem.
Hashem, all right. Often when a young person is at birth congenital, that means in the womb, or in their first 7 to 12 years, they take on a major illness. This is most often a karmic situation, a sort of, I did this, therefore I will take this on to rectify the situation or to restore balance. When it's young children, it effectively brings the family together or separates them, and with the young children it's always a heart chakra issue of how much compassion the parents and the family will move into with an ill child. It totally changes the direction that the family would move in when a young child is affected with a disease. And of course, technically, perhaps mother or father were exposed to something, carcinogens. There's always a physical component to, as a contributing factor, that would, on a physical level, create a tweaking or a damaging in the chromosomes. And then why would a person incarnate into that body? Perhaps that's the body they need, the body they qualify for, to understand their soul lesson, where when they had a vibrant, functioning, full sex on, food, yes, war, body, they didn't value it. Or perhaps they created a lot of harm for others. And sometimes warriors, killers, big killers, they carry those wounds forward with them, those who are wounded in battle. Sometimes a person is killed or dies in a very traumatic way. The soul remembers the trauma, and the trauma is meant to sear the soul so that the person gets the lesson. Then the person may be born with birthmarks, or what you call birth defects, that would be sometimes a carryover from the soul's memory, so that it would remember the lesson. Yet you get in the body, and the challenge is, wow, you forget everything. And by the time you grow up, you forgot why you came in. And when you are little and you say to your mother, you know, I knew you before, or I was your mother, or I did this or that, people think it's cute, but some people are very frightened of it. And if you are in the wrong family, they say you are the devil. You must be possessed and taken over if you remember past lives. So there's always a connection, there's always a reason. Today, unfortunately, we would say too many mothers and fathers are far too careless in the cultivation and the treasuring of their egg and their sperm. Why? Because you can't see it. It's something you can't see. And women are Wi-Fiing themselves, microwaving themselves. Wi-Fi, you call it Wi-Fi, we call it Wi-Fi or we-fry. Actually, it's you-fry. And you are frying, there's no doubt about it. All the denial in the world, all the protection in the world, your tinfoil will help you, but you are living in an exceptionally toxic environment. Now, can this be healed? Let's say that if you look around, sometimes there's stories, inspiring stories, about people who are born with defects, we'll call them, or challenges, or handicaps is the word. And they excel to extraordinary levels. And this is remarkable, the will within the human spirit to overcome things that were carried forward, and not to be ashamed or to be depressed or to kill yourself because you are not complete, but to rise above it. And you are seeing this, and you have seen this demonstrated in many, many people. But today, the environment is making it difficult for people to enter with clarity. This is why there's so much autism. It's all over the world. In the United States, not long ago, it was 1 in hundreds. Now with young boys, it's 1 in less than 50. And of course, young boys are being targeted because who would overthrow the government? Men, it is usually men. Nonetheless, men are being targeted. Women are being confounded and being encouraged to turn into men. Women, you'll never be men, and men, you're never going to be women. No matter what the Kardashian family wants to sell you. They are deeply immersed in mind control themselves, and they make no decisions on their own. They are an example of puppetry to confuse the masses. Now, each to their own karma, each to their own clarity. Can things be healed? They can be improved. And you can lead with illness a quality of life. There is a book we have recommended, and our friend Connie brought it to our attention, and we have put it in our newsletter, the Pleiadian Times. It is the book you want in your library. And it is called the Dictionary, the Complete Dictionary of Ailments and Diseases. And the subtitle is something like How Our Emotions are at the source of all of our illness. And it is by a man named Jacques, in the French tradition, Martel, we believe, and it is in English but written by a French Canadian. You have to go to Amazon.ca to get it. They do not have it in USA. This book will liberate all of you on whether you have hearing issues, eye issues, whatever it is. You look it up and you can see what the emotional or soul story is behind it. Knowing the story, you can shift the energy, accept responsibility, and love yourself. The answer to improving the quality of your life, we hope this is positive and inspiring enough, is to love yourself. And only you can generate that. When you love yourself and accept who you are, all your lumps and bumps and wrinkles and imperfections, then you can improve. We'll end with this. At the same time things are collapsing and degrading, all that needs to collapse will collapse. But brilliance is arising here and there. And there are those who have good hearts and complete integrity. And it is their desire to help to make humans whole again. To take you out of the fear of operations and poisonings, and to restore the body into wellness with new techniques. Not just stem cells and medical experimentation, but new ways of understanding the technologies of sound, light, and other advancements, frequencies. You're on the cusp of massively improving and enhancing quality of life for those who can understand it. At the same time, you're going to witness denial, sickness, depopulation, and you will see many people. You'll say to them, you know, if you take this, this can improve your life. No, no, my doctor would not permit it. I'm going to have a head transplant. Thank you for laughing. Thank you for laughing. And we don't mean to make fun of it, but you get the point here. And this is what's going to be difficult. Some see the solutions, and others will say, no, 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 no. This is the most challenging part of finding clarity, finding freedom, and living without fear, is to want to help others, and they are not interested. Remember, you are not prophets, you are people. But you are here to do a big job. Do your best to switch your computer on by loving yourself. Your job is to have fun. Did you hear that? To have fun. And Seth used to say, if it's not fun, stop doing it. That'll help you out tremendously. But your job is also to improve your life to such a degree that you end up becoming smarter, wiser, and a stabilizer for those that you love. They will eventually figure it out. But you show the way and demonstrate it. We've had a good day. Remember the golden table tonight. We'll see you in the morning. Pleasant dreams, pleasant journeys. Good evening.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are here, and once again, it is our great pleasure to be in your reality. Now, ideally, you have been integrating all that we have suggested. When you don't integrate, you deflect, you push off, or you dissociate, or you busy yourself with something else. We cannot emphasize enough the opportunity you have here in Sedona to go to a much higher level. It supports you. And second of all, there is definitely a state of urgency to get through to you how important it is to make the necessary changes in your lives. If, as someone said, we sound frustrated, it is because we have said it over and over again. And too many of you are not taking it in, or are not willing to make the changes that are necessary to provide you with, let's say, the future that you are here to help establish. Just remember that. We do not know everything. There are some things that are out of our interest or our realm of understanding, perhaps. Nonetheless, we do have vistas of reality from the future coming into your now, and we can see things and explain things that you as humans do not understand and do not at this point have the capability of reaching into. It is our intention all these years not to waste our time. Yet it is always our intention to have a grand time when we come into your reality. We enjoy speaking with the Hughes, as we call you. And we know the large majority of you are excited to speak to us. But let's make it worthwhile. We would like this morning, early afternoon, to take you to realms of consciousness that perhaps through explanation and experience open up new possibilities of what's available for you. It's essential to understand that there's a bit of deconstructing going on your world. And there's multiple intentions, multiple players. You use the term agendas. And there are also many versions of Earth. And there are also many versions of the future. And some psychics, prognosticators, remote viewers, whatever, may tap into a probable future and see, well, this is inevitable, this is going to come down the pike. And yet the most important factor in understanding how the future is selected is dependent upon the impulses, the feelings, the beliefs and agreements, or the changes that any or all individuals make. The future is not written inevitably in stone. The Anunnaki, those who from heaven to earth came, they create prophecy, as we suggested yesterday, as a way of managing your world. You are one of their colonies, they come and they go. They live, some of them, millions of years. They have learned how to extend life. All Anunnaki do not live millions of years. Just as you on Earth, most of you have access to money, but we said yesterday 1% in 2016 declares they own 50% of the Earth's wealth. So it is in the Anunnaki hegemony hierarchy that those at the top have privilege to what you would call technological advancements that allow them to develop abilities, to extend their lives, etc., etc. This whole issue of immortality. So there are problems in their realms, and the problems in their realms are now being reflected in your realms. Everything is, in a certain extent, in flux and being dismantled. And the Anunnaki, as we suggested yesterday, their greatest fear is mutiny. And 250,000 years ago, approximately, is when their workers mutinied in the mines. And that's when the primitive worker was created. Now, the key in that Enki left, the gift, a back door, as we said, into the biological computer of humankind to make adjustments, tweaks. And in order for all of this to flourish, and as this awareness is flourishing, even if you do nothing but sit in your property and think about it, as you become aware, you begin to dismantle the system. Because you don't believe in it. As soon as you believe in something, you energize it. As soon as you stop believing in it, you stop energizing it. Without saying a word, you change everything. Is this understood?
Yes.
Yes. You hear it. We don't know if you understand it, but you hear it. This is your power. The power of choice. The power of the decision to live. I'm going to live peacefully. I'm going to live securely. I want to live in such a way that I do not have to be concerned about working hard and money and everything. I'm willing to work, but I am going to accumulate a sense of security and plenty that I enjoy. You are here to elevate the human experience by demonstrating it, not to have anyone fix you, save you, or to rely on government programs, although we will say little assistance here and there, especially if you paid into some of the social systems. It is your due. But let's say that the financial flux that is occurring could wipe out a lot of the stability that many people are relying on. And certainly, just a bit of a digression here, if you are in the stocks and bonds markets, it's time to exit quickly, because they just boosted the market up again, and that's only for the election year to trick the people. They have all manner of ways of manipulating the system, but it is a highly likely, probable future that you are going to face worldwide financial problems. Larger than certainly the Great Recess that you just are finishing or just still in, and certainly to exceed what you called in the 20s and 30s the Great Depression. This is greed run amok to the extreme. Greed run amok. Now, it does not mean the end of the world. It does not mean that you are going to be devastated. What this means is that a deconstruction, a dismantling, because of criminality, because of bad energy, because of rotten construction and cheating and lying, and because people are checking out and they don't want to pay attention, there's no energy to support a wholesome system now. The system is rotten. It's going to be dismantled, ideally with grace. It is undergoing a dismantling since about 2007, 2008, when Pluto crossed the galactic center and then now has been dismantling the Capricornian structure, and that will continue until about 2024, 2025. All systems, all businesses, everything that is run as business for people, whether it is bus lines, railroads, airplanes, lawn services, businesses, must operate with integrity and complete good of the people and the land. All of those that do not are going to find big problems. All the misuse of energy, Monsanto, the poisons, everything, it's all not in the highest good of the, let's say, quality of life of the earth, the people, and the plants. And Anunnaki are not honoring the highest quality of life. So you have a ringside seat, friends. for probable events that are such of a dramatic nature. This is why the planet is full. People want to be here. And then they get here and they say, well, who's going to save me? Where are the safe zones? Where can I escape this? And this is a reflection of something you all fall prey to. When you are not in the body, you say, oh, piece of cake, I'll go down there, I'll incarnate, I'll take on this body, I'll select that family, this looks like it is good. And then you get down here, and it's not quite the same. Looking at it is very different than being in it. And then there's the problem of remembering. And a society that does not encourage you to recollect why you have come in or when you have been here before. You know all of this. We want less whining. You are privileged. You are privileged because you are smart enough to know that something's going on. You are privileged because you are safe. You have monies to find things out. And we are doing our very, very best to give you as much as we can in a short amount of time to bring you up to snuff and beyond. What do you get when you whine? The field of existence hears the whining. And then it answers your call. And then things start to fall apart. You follow what we are saying? The power of words, the power of ideas, the power of intention. I cannot emphasize enough the necessity for you to focus on what you do want. Because as you want, you start to create. And again, we will say you never have to know how what you want is going to happen. But it is a real good idea to set some instructions out there. The multiverse, universe, what you want to call it, the field of existence, we like that term because it applies right here to now. The field of existence feels, knows, and senses all of your emotions. So say you are a coward, or you are shy, or you are afraid, and you want something, and you want it, and you want it, and you want it, and you don't know how to get it, but you don't really want it, because you're afraid of it. So you pretend you want it, and you do a little here, and you say, I didn't get what I want. You do a little here. I'm not getting what I want. It's because you are not doing what needs to be done to get what you want. And sometimes, in order to get what you want, you have to clear out the detritus of dead wood, old agreements, finish up old obligations. And you have to have some courage. If you are meek and timid, and you cannot speak, or you're afraid to speak, or afraid to confront those who pester you or who make you sick, you're not going to succeed. Success is moving through and dealing with what you fear. And usually it's the fear of dealing with it that's much bigger than the actual dealing. So to avoid the dealing is to whine and then to say, I'm not getting what I want. It's because you don't really want what you think you want. You're happy whining. Awareness is about self-reflection. If you are going to have a pity party, then at least say, I'm whining, I'm exaggerating, I'm having a pity party. That's fine, because then you are taking ownership. But when you act as if you don't know why something's not happening, it's because you are in denial. And denial is very subtle, it's comfortable. It's a place that people like to retreat to. I don't know why. I don't know why. Of course you know why. Every single one of you knows why and what you have to do. But you're afraid to do it. You're afraid to quit the job, confront the partner, sister, family, mother, father, grannies, neighbors, and to work out, in some capacity, a state of peace. To recognize what you are and are not available for, and to say to those, I'm not comfortable with this any longer, and I appreciate you, but I'm not doing it anymore. This sets you free. When you make your intentions known, it sets you free. It may not make the others happy at all. It may rile them up and make them very, very angry with you. But when you clear your space, it's yours that's clear. And then what you want has room to come in. We're not advocating for you to break up your families, your relationships, your workplaces. But if you really want something, you're going to have to get rid of what's stopping you or acting as a tyranny over you. And many of you have given too much power away to other people rather than claiming your own. So, that's our message for you this morning. Takes ownership. It is the spring equinox. The energy is running. The sun is in Aries. The moon is shifting now from Leo, party city yesterday, to Virgo. Let's get a little more serious, get down to detail, and let's make good progress about how to operate one of these magnificent biological beings that you all own. That said, let's open it up to super brilliant questions this early afternoon. All right, who would like to begin, please?
Hi, Peace.
Hello, who is it?
This is Hezekiah. My question is, there is so much information out there that we can learn. Our spirit animals, zodiac signs, past life trauma, etc., that it can be easy to get lost in the information. Would you be so kind to distill for us what is important to learn at this time? What is priority?
How to operate your physical body. You see, the disadvantage that the YouTubers newly awakened have is that you don't have the luxury of the nano and time to study things slowly, to do the sweat lodges, to get in touch with spirit animals, to work with crystals, to spend a year being rolfed. Those who spent years exploring this are going to be far more grounded and sensible and integrated than those of you who are just waking up, realizing how many choices there are, and knowing you can only eat a few at the buffet. Right now, it is essential to as little electronics as possible. How many times do we have to say it? We will keep saying it. As little electronics as possible. More time in nature, clear intentions, and working with the body. Spine, breath, activating the body. There are some good books about spirit animals. And we do recommend you begin to notice what's going on around you. So in this way, as you are not looking at devices, you're not checking the time, you're not addicted, checking everything. Let's say that you put your cell phones away and you dare to go out for a day or two without the devices. And you start to notice cardinals. Or maybe a baby quail runs across your path. Or you see here in Sedona, what do they have? The javelinas. If you go out at night and you are a bit up on the mesa or someplace outside the city, you may see the big wild pigs come out of the brush. And then you get a book and you say, wow, I'm going to look up the wild pig or javelina, or I will look up cardinal. And you start to notice what you see in nature, and then check the book at home. You have to do it all, but you don't have the time to take a great study, and we know you have work to do and many other things to cooperate. So one of the best reflections you can offer yourself is at the end of the day, when you are laying down for your evening sleep, do a bit of recapitulation. You can intend to work out things in the dream state, of course. You can intend wellness or to be prepared for tomorrow, etc. But you can also think about the day and the progress you made and where you didn't do so great. And we would say the more you condition your space, the happier you are going to be. And this involves discipline, the dreaded D word. With no discipline, you are sheets flapping in the wind. You understand? You have to have discipline. You have to be able to make intentions and do the more difficult things. And that is mind-body connection. You must eat better, all of you. You must hydrate more and more. Again, the hydration creates the movement of energy and the electrical energies within the physical form. By conditioning the space, we would say, you have something out there in your world called sticky notes. You know what they are? Yes, of course. You get yourself a little packet of the favorite color you want sticky notes. And you put it next to your bed. And when you wake up in the morning, you take a pen, and of course, if you are a dream recorder, it's a good time in the morning to record your dreams. This is a wonderful way to advance your consciousness, but some people don't get many dreams, or some get too many dreams, and they find it takes a long, long time. If you are a big dreamer, just jot down in your dream journal a few words that are triggering from the dream state. A few words can do it. Dream journaling is very important. But that sticky note, when you wake up, you are getting ready, after you go to the bathroom and do your morning libations and things, think about what you want. And write down on that small little sticky note, not the tiniest ones, but not too big, the kind of day you want. Our vehicle shared some of her words with you. She would say, this is going to be a super smooth good day. Or a day of excellence. A day of surprises and very, very productive. You're getting the gist of what we are saying? This is called conditioning the space. You are already writing out how you want the energy to be that you are going to meet. You can put anything down you want, anything. And then on that list, if you like, you then may jot down some of the duties or tasks that you are required to accomplish in that day. And you may not know how you are going to fit it all in, but write them down. And you always affirm in your mind, it's going to be everything more than fine, and it will all come together in a remarkable order of achievement. And then you go about your life. This takes a few minutes. But if you do not have a few minutes to condition your space, then don't expect any kind of anything to happen. In order to make this work, you have to put time into it. And we give you the simplest of assignments that a third grader, in most cases, could carry out. Drink water, breathe, tap, spin. You understand it? But you adults get too lazy. And you want to know, where's the money coming from? Where are the safe places? And then you wonder why we are frustrated? STUPID. That's why. Who has a good question?
Peace.
Yes.
My name's Amy.
Right here we heard a piece.
This is Ruth.
Ruth, yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
What's your question?
Does our vote count?
No. That was very succinct. You know, for however. They threw it for Kennedy. His father bought the votes from the Mayor Daley over there in Chicago, which is a very, very corrupt area. So if Kennedy cheated and had things changed. Then you had Scalia, who just mysteriously was demised. He threw the election on the, what was it called, the hanging chads, back when it was Gore versus Bush. And he said, no, we'll throw out Gore, it's going to be Bush. Your vote is maybe in local elections, but and this time around, you're going to have a lot of shenanigans. And do not be surprised if the players that are being paraded before you now all do a disappearing act. In other words, Shrillery is not in good standing at all. She's under a lot of investigation. And she's squeaked through so many times, along with her husband. In all fairness, and this is not a prejudiced statement, the Clintons have created so many treasons against this country, they could have been put in prison 20 years ago, both of them. What does this say? That this is one of your choices, criminals. Both players that are prominent now could easily disappear, and you will get some, what they call legerdemain, sleight of hand, and then in chaos, do not be surprised if some old war horses are trotted out, and the choices are the same old nonsense, one dynasty or another, and this will push people to the limit. What else, Ruthie?
Are we on the brink of a mutiny or a dismantling as a result of this election?
This election, Ruth wants to know, are you on the brink of a mutiny or a dismantling with this election? You see, there is danger when people find out that things aren't as they were told. Now, most of you, when you found out young, very young, that the fairy godmother, the Easter bunny, Santa Claus, you were mature enough that you didn't overreact. And you sort of played along with it. And maybe some of you are a bit disappointed, but it's not the same, because you got something from the Easter bunny, fairy godmother, and Santa Claus by believing. By believing in the deceptions today, you're not winning at all. And Uranus, again, is the awakener in Aries, spring. And now that spring has sprung, today, it's going to be very, very, it's going to stir things up big time, very, very big time. And you are on the verge of a volatility coming out in this country. This is why we say, folks, there's no time to waste. You are stabilizers. Wake up, stabilize. As you wake up, telepath, and stabilize your understanding of what's going on, that people have a choice to get smarter or to destroy what they think has taken advantage of them. Always choose getting smarter. Broadcast that by getting smarter yourself and going to a higher level. Our long-term students, Ruthie and all of you who have been with us for years, you are being propelled today to go to a higher level. And it will unfold in 3 days at the full moon solar eclipse. And expect major changes, major awareness, major understanding, the pieces coming together quickly for you. So you are in dismantling, you are in mutiny. Ideally, as you awaken, you stabilize, and it will happen gracefully, without great calamity and destruction. Understand that, please. Anything else, Ruth?
Thank you.
Hi,
Questions?
Pleiadians. Hi, Pleiadians.
We hear some mouse in the back of the room, but get right up here if you want to talk to us. Otherwise, we're not going to shout back to someone who's going, "Hi, Pleiadians." We can't hear you.
My voice is very small. Hi, Pleiadians.
Hello. What's your question? Who are you?
I'm Laura from
Laura.
France.
All right, welcome. Very brave of you. Of course, it's not comfortable to come stand in front of everyone else. You can close your eyes if you want to, just like us. It's easier. It's fine. You will be more relaxed. They will laugh and they will think it's funny. What's your question, Laura?
Okay. My question is about etheric pregnancies.
About
Etheric pregnancies?
etheric pregnancies.
Yes. Abductions and women who are pregnant in the ether,
Yes.
not physical.
Yes.
Could you please explain exactly how they do that and how to stop if we are concerned by this problem?
Is this your problem?
I've been, yes, through this
Do you understand why it's your problem?
because of my DNA.
Because you have a little voice. You don't know how to say no.
Yes.
Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what we said? We said, "Do you know what your problem is?" She said, "No." We said, "It's because you have a little voice and you don't know how to say no." And she said, super quiet, "Yes." That's the answer to your question. You have no boundaries. And you have probably DNA that has been studied and is of some interest, and we would say, you may go back to your seat if you like. We don't mean for you to stand up here. This is very brave of you. Thank you, Laura. But this is a huge issue for many of you. No boundaries. And no boundaries leads very often to sexual abuse. And many people who have no boundaries have had sexual abuse. You have to learn to say no on the soul level. So etheric pregnancies, how do they do this? These abductions and the genetic experimentation are nothing new on the planet. If you read our second book, it is called Earth, Pleiadian Keys to the Living Library. This is a living library, a laboratory, an experiment. It is a repository for life forms. If life forms were so prevalent, you would know about them. And there are certainly life forms out there, but as you are figuring out, it's pretty vast territory. And if you don't have the modes of traveling it and the physiognomy not to be destroyed by cosmic radiation, you can accomplish a lot. The reptilians, and this is including the Anunnaki, have in their DNA an ability to be less affected by cosmic radiation. This is why they can create large empire, and they have learned how, again, to extend their life, just as your reptiles on Earth can have great longevity. So, Earth is studied. Family lines are tracked for thousands and thousands of years. DNA, eggs, sperm have been extracted. In general, this occurs, as Laura mentioned, in the etheric realm, in the dream state. And people can be pregnant in another reality that is connected with this body. Usually an egg is extracted from the physical body, or sperm, and planted in, as you say, an etheric version of the self. And then new life forms are being generated and trained, transplanted, transferred to other places. Some of you have been producing life forms that are taken away and used as chattel someplace else. How do you stop this? You see why we say it is so urgent for you to be in the body, to take ownership of it, and to understand how to use it? We would say most of the people on the planet are clueless about how to use their body. Just because you have one does not mean anything. The soul comes in, and then it has no idea what to do with it. Without boundary issues, and without psychic ability to see into the other dimensions, humankind has been preyed upon for many millennia. This is why we say the urgency of waking up today psychically is essential. And as each of you moves up a notch, you send out signals. And then others way, way down move up a notch. As things become more crucial, and as the truths are revealed, it frightens you. Because Laura's question makes all of you think, have my sperm and egg been taken? Have I been abused? I'm not good at saying no. Am I part of this genetic process? Without boundaries, you are. So, Laura, for you need to speak to the ceiling. And you need to swear at them a little bit, perhaps. A good few damns out of your mouth might be shocking to your family's DNA. And say, damn it, I'm not available for this. And then every person in your life that you don't say no to, you start cleaning up. Do you understand?
Yes.
That was a louder yes. That was You're brave. You're very brave. We like the brave. We like the brave. Because sometimes in your naivete, you end up being more courageous than you think you are. And you end up touching on something that everyone else says, oh, I'm glad it's not me. She's really getting it from the peas. Someone has to get it. How else can we communicate how foolish you are at times? We do not want you to become the fools of the future. We want you to be the smart ones. So clear out in life and start graciously saying no. And if you have to say a few swear words now and again, it may do you good. And then to those beings, I am no longer available. This is it, finished. I am building 2 protectors, and they are 12 feet tall. And they are my constructs in the ether. They are my protectors, and they are going to protect me when I sleep, and nothing is going to touch me. Everything banished from my room. Cloak of protection. Aura, aura, aura. Ground. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. If you have to say that once an hour for the next year, if that's what it takes for you to be taken seriously, then do it. Because eventually, what you mean will be your word. But many of you say, you do something for a little while, then you fall back to your old patterns. Who has a question?
Peace, this is Ben.
Ben, welcome. Loud and clear.
I just wanted to thank you for coming here again.
They can't hear you in the back of the room.
I just wanted to thank you for coming here.
All right, good.
I do have a question. In an earlier taping, stuff that I've listened to by you guys before, you mentioned before the flood, the humans were called Lulus.
Well, not necessarily. One could say that the original primitive worker,
right,
that was constructed in East Africa with Enki and his sister Ninma, Mami, the original name was called the Lulu.
Right. And then another thing I had listened to you...
Louder, they can't hear you in the back of the room.
Another taping I had listened to, you mentioned that you were talking about Anu and Enlil and Enki, the brother, his sons.
Yes.
That how did he become the great father in heaven? And you said that he won a wrestling match, and he had wrestled...
Alalu.
Alalu, and I just thought, well, that's really interesting, because that would mean that, you know, that prior time, that's why they were probably called that. And then I was listening to some stuff that some Islams were saying, and I realized as they were praising Allah, just something went off in me, just that.
Lulu, Alalu, Allah.
Exactly, all of this together, meaning that, and they just have such a disdain, it seems. Now, I'm not being racist here, such a disdain for almost all other religions, and always claiming that everyone else's gods are not the right God, which made me think, well, that's interesting. So this Lalu lost the wrestling match, and maybe this was the god that the Muslim people, and that's why there's such a, I don't know what I'm actually asking.
All right,
it was a very interesting wondering, and this all came together, and I thought, wow.
All right, we'll clarify it for you. Alalu, we covered some of this yesterday, so we've already laid out a bit of groundwork. That's all right. Alalu was lost the match. He was deposed by Anu, and he fled in his rocket ship, and he fled with nuclear weapons. He nuked his way through the asteroid belt, what is called the Hammered Bracelet, came to Earth. And the records act as if, oh wow, we just found Earth, never heard of it before. Lie. The Anus, and that's their general name, but of course it was not Anu in charge, but this race of beings had visited the Earth over many millions of years. Your scientifics will say that it appears that nothing was really going on Earth until about 500 million years ago, and suddenly life happened everywhere. Yet in some research that's all over the planet, forbidden archaeology, etc., manufactured artifacts have been found in rock strata billions of years old. Footprints of giant structures have been found in rock strata hundreds of millions of years old. So the Anus pretending, leaving the record of Alalu coming here, lands in the Persian Gulf, finds gold. He's in big trouble with the Anunnaki. He calls them up on the wireless. He says, I found gold. The Anu says, well, we need gold. And he sends Enki, his son, about 1 year later, an Anu year. So this is interesting, that Alalu lands here, and about 4,000 years later, Enki shows up. All right, what was Alalu doing here? But this is their story. Lots of holes. Swiss cheese. Then they forgive Alalu because he found the gold, and then it didn't work out, and Enki couldn't extract enough gold. So then the big problems arise, and Anu says, we really need this gold, and so I'm going to send my other son Enlil, and he's going to run the command. Ooh, then everything starts falling apart, because again, he runs the space command, and they move the excavation to Africa, and they start the mining. And then the story goes on. Eventually, 200,000 years later, you get the mutiny, because the 50 or 100 or whatever number it is, 300, they are working in the mines and they mutiny. But before that, when Alalu was forgiven, he then betrayed once again. And he stole something. They let him into mission control or something, which in the old days was in the Mesopotamian Valley. After the flood, mission control moved to Jerusalem. A flood, again, being about 13,000 years ago. So he steals the Mies, and these are basically very sophisticated smartphones, dumb phones, that only a few of the Anunnaki could have. And the Me was interactive with the owner. It was not as you have your devices, you push buttons. This device had all the records how to do everything, but it was also more alive. It was perhaps a term we could use, living crystal. And these beings have minds of magnificence, and it is the mind connection. So today, when you mimic the Anunnaki and wear gold, or wear diamonds, or have your devices in your hands that you are addicted to, this is all Anunnaki mimicking. They don't have to push buttons. They must use their mind in conjunction with this living crystal. Alalu stole these Mies. And he was not the first. The Anunnaki used to fight among each other to steal the Mies from one. If you had the Mies, you could run the system. You were the top honcho. He got in big trouble. They caught him. And along with his valet, we will say, we forget the name of his valet. Along with his valet, or perhaps it was his pilot, he was banished to Mars. And it was said that there he spent his days on Mars, isolated, while one of Enlil's sons, or grandsons, Shumash, ran along with Ninurta. Ninurta is also Apollo. They ran the space program from Moon to Mars. And it is said in their records now that Alalu died on Mars. And after he died, his pilot or valet, whatever it was, returned to Earth and said this is in the records now, that he made a memorial on Mars for Alalu. And it is reported that the face on Mars is the memorial that the pilot made for Alalu. Now, Alalulu, Alalu. There is a river, the Urubamba. In other words, that is in Peru. You start to see the sounds and the syllables. Now, who is Allah? Who is the God of Allah? There are reports by some that the God Allah could possibly be the Anunnaki called Sin, S-I-N, or Sin, sometimes it is pronounced. And this is the moon god. And this would be the son of Enlil. Enlil, En meaning the name Lord, or sometimes command. That Enlil appears to be the God who says, you must obey me, here are my rules. The one supreme God, that his voice is Enlil, not Anu. Not Anu. And then the fight is over which son has the opportunity to be the son of the god. Is it Ninurta? Does Ninurta run a religion? Does Sin run a religion? Does Adad run a religion? Then Marduk, the son of Enki, he wants to be the god of religions. So there's a tremendous amount of confusion, but understand that each of these gods of the Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, Judaic, Muslim, each one of the gods that you are praying to, or the believers pray to, are one branch or another of the Anunnaki families. There is no doubt. And the Anunnaki rule by divide and conquer. They keep their realms confused. And they set one culture, one religion against each other. Now just imagine, let's play a game here. Let's imagine. It's a wonderful game. You can keep your eyes open for it. You know darn well that the Vatican is a repository of a vast amount of old ancient planetary records. And about 500 years ago, or 2 Pluto cycles to the galactic center back, Ignatius Loyola came on the scene and founded the Jesuits, the soldiers of Jesus or some such. And then they began to spread all over the world and to go and to rape and pillage and gather up the artifacts, the gold, the calendars from all around the world. Most particular, this was carried out in South America, where the conquistadores, as they were called, the adventurers, the priests, the Catholic priests who came with them, were appalled at what they found. In their own hubris, they assumed that the cross and Christianity and the God were theirs. Civilization, writing, all of this, they thought it was theirs. And then they go to this area of primitiveness, and they meet the Aztecs, the Incas. Later, the Incas, they meet the Aztecs, the Mayas, and then the Incas are further down in South America. And they encounter civilization. They encounter king and courts, but more than that. They're shocked that they have the cross, and that they speak of a white lord who had a cross on his shield. They did not know what to do. They gathered all these things up and took them back to the Vatican. So now imagine the Muslims, Islam, the Kaaba in Mecca, Jerusalem, vastly connected with underground chambers that go over to the Great Pyramid. Jerusalem, the old Mission Control Center. The Middle East. Just imagine that people come marching forward, carrying all manner of artifacts, books, and knowledge from every religion. They come into some grand place of safety, and they put these objects and books and ancient artifacts around. You know, it was said that Alexander, about 300 BC, some such in that era, did not live too long, lived to be 33. It was said that he had horns on his head, just as Moses was said to have horns coming out of his head. Alexander believed that he was the son of a god, an Anunnaki, and this is why he created empire. And it was said that on his journey, one of the reasons he went to the city in Egypt, we believe it was then called Heliopolis, the city of the sun, he was shown an Anunnaki spacecraft. And he felt he wanted to meet the gods because the gods had impregnated his mother. It was his belief. And so even in today's world, there's big scuttlebutt about where did that craft disappear to. And there's scuttlebutt that it was taken to Mecca. And of course in Mecca you have the big, what is it called, Kaaba. And no one is allowed inside. So now to this day, perhaps few sneak in to go, but it is very compartmentalized. Just imagine a future, or even in the ether, a dream state situation, where you gather, and you are there watching, and all manner of people from all religions say, here, this is what we have. This is what's been hidden away. What does it really mean? It could be a big healing, you understand? Could be a very big healing. The Anunnaki put language in your head. They send language from the sun. A language of light is transmitted on light to the sun, to the pineal gland, and you are controlled by inaudible sound, and this inaudible sound conducts your language forward, where you keep repeating and saying the vowels and symbols of the Anunnaki tongue. Big something to think about. Good question, Ben. Let's move around. Who else has a good question?
Peas.
Over here, Peas, we hear it. Who are you?
Brandy.
Brandy, yes, welcome.
Thank you. My question is about the source or the prime creator.
Her question is about the source or prime creator. It's almost unknowable.
Indeed, but would the Peas as well as the Anunnaki, do they worship that? And is there a connection where we can jump over the Anunnaki and access the source?
We recommend no worship.
Okay.
Worship is a waste of time. The Anunnaki taught you worship. Prime Creator, Source, Great Spirit, all that is. You are that Source. Are you going to get down to your knees to yourself? You are Prime Creator. You are. This all that is in everything, and it requires no worship. It runs from worship. And yet it will allow the use of itself to grow in awareness. Because it is capable of creation. And then allowing its creation to make more than perhaps Prime Creator is and was and will be. It is an enigma of sorts. The Zen people have a koan that says the sound of one hand clapping. Sort of a boggler, do you understand? And it's the same thing with Prime Creator. The simplest way to say it, you are this source. It is in you. This is why you have the power to create if you would use it. Gratitude, generosity, the top. Worship, worship nothing. Respect, honor, but to think that you have to go through something to get to this primary source is a misnomer. You are here to watch this rich dance of energy. And you know, if you get to travel around the world, it's quite thrilling to immerse yourself into cultures that worship and believe, but they're rich and they have rules and they've manifested a lot of things, but the people all are frightened. They're frightened of the God. They think if something doesn't happen, the God's mad at them, and they don't have power. And so they live as if they're afraid to come out from under a rock. That's what worship has given you. You want respect and reverence for all that is. And you can see all that is when you look at the sunset. You can see all that is when that pesky mosquito lands and wants to sneak your blood. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Do you have anything else, Brandy?
Well,
loud and clear.
The Peas, they respect and worship the source.
We worship no one.
And not worship. They respect and honor all that is. And so that is a guiding principle for them. And
we don't understand. It sounds like you are telling us what we do.
No, I'm asking. And you said yes, you're right.
We don't focus on worship. We focus on creativity.
Okay. All right.
You're having a picture that you're projecting onto us that has nothing to do with what we are. At least this group that you are speaking to. You follow?
Yes. Yes.
You are doing classic projection.
Okay.
I'm figuring it must be there, so there it is. That's not what's happening at all. Who has a good question?
Hello, Keith.
Good question, loud and clear.
This is Tamara. Hello.
Tamara?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What's your question?
As I understand it, the goal that the primitive workers were created for, or rather were created to mine for the earth, was for the planet where the Anunnaki came from, Nibiru, and they needed it in order to turn it into some kind of dust or power to protect their system, their atmosphere.
Their atmosphere, yes, you've got it, you've got
You
it.
mentioned yesterday, or rather your vehicle mentioned yesterday, that the Anunnaki live underground here, and they also live underground on their planet. So I was wondering what they were protecting if they actually live underground.
Well, they are going to come up to the surface. They want an atmosphere of sorts, do you understand? Even if they are not dwelling on the surface, they still, your atmosphere, your stratosphere, magnetosphere, these are layers of energy that protect the planet from radiation, from many things. So if there's absolutely no outer layers around a system, then it could be subjected to all manner of difficulties. And so layers of atmospheric energies simply shield any planetary body so that it is not swept away. It's a good word to use, swept away, as it moves far, far out into the depths of space. It's challenging to imagine different worlds. And you tend to, again, project how it is on Earth, so then it has to be that way out there. And again, they would use the surface of Nibiru at times, especially when it came into the solar system and it was being activated by the sun. When it enters into your solar system, the path has been between Mars and Jupiter on a 3,600-year orbit or thereabouts. So what else do you want to know?
I think that answers it.
All right, who else has questions?
I have a question.
You are?
My name is Julian.
Can't hear you.
I have a question. My name is Julian.
Julian, welcome.
How do we then turn on our DNA to realize the full potential of these bodies that are born into? And
How do you turn on the DNA?
Correct.
That's a good question. Very good question. People have been asking this forever, but it's a good one to repeat. Some are not worth it and some are. The energies of the times are actually switching on the DNA if you make room for it. And the more you busy up your life with stuff to do, and you fill your head with moving pictures of confusion and nonsense, in other words, the more you want to be entertained electronically versus being informed, no matter how much energy is coming to you, attempting to switch on the DNA, it's not going to be as effective as if you say, I'm going to catch it. And so what you need to do, all of you, is to have time where you are doing nothing. And we give you permission to do nothing. For some people, it's very frightening. And for some people, it's very liberating. You mean I have permission to do nothing? Yes. Make a cup of tea, get a glass of wine, something, make a kombucha drink or a shake or whatever. Go sit down. No electronics. Relax. On a porch, on a lawn chair, take a blanket to the beach, walk to the park, and just watch. Just watch and see what happens. It's boring, of course. You can take a book if you want to. You can sit with a friend. But when you do nothing, you make room for things to happen. It's very good to do nothing in the sun for a little while. You don't have to be directly in the sun. You can be under an umbrella on a chaise lounge. That's a wonderful picture. You have your iced tea next to you. You might have a good book to read or any other accoutrements that satisfy your moment. And you relax. And you squeeze your toes together and squeeze your fingers together as tight as you can. You make a face and then you say, I am allowing all that is and the energy of the multiverse to move through me. And you take your shoes off. A wonderful way to activate your DNA is to walk barefoot on the earth. It will ground you. It will help you integrate the cosmos and the earth. Barefoot on earth is a wonderful way to activate the DNA. And then when you are doing nothing, you can think about, what would you like to bring forward? What would I like to be able to do? Wow, I want to be a good speller. I've never been good at spelling. I think I want to call forward good spelling. It may sound foolish to some of you, but for someone it might be very important. Or whatever you want. You want to be a better cook. You activating the DNA is going to give you the confidence to perform skills and tasks and to have great enjoyment doing it. Activating the DNA is going to allow you to be more fully human, using the energy of all your chakras, especially your heart chakra, while you become more aware of the larger story of existence. That's very important. But most important is the quality of life that you live and the quality of the love that you share with those that you live with. The quality of that love is why you come here to Earth. You all come for love. Oh, many of you have missions, purposes, but you all come for love. Because love in the ethers is not the same as love on Earth. And this is what the Anunnaki got trapped into, you know. Big sex thing on Earth. This is the big sin. Of course, you know today you send an archaeologist out or anyone out to study an environment. They're supposed to observe. They can't bring other species in. They're not supposed to go out and have affairs with the natives, these kinds of things. They're there to study. As soon as you start playing around, you change the experiment. And of course, this is the big sin that even the Catholic Church is still sorting out, that these fallen angels, allegedly Nephilim, which Nephilim is just another biblical term used to describe the Anunnaki. And then within the Anunnaki came this story of fallen angels. Basically, those fallen angels, one could say in the vernacular, you have a term on your world called horny, yes? Which means you're getting riled up. Your hormones are juicy. You want to have sex. These Anunnaki, they wanted sex after a while. The males, they saw the females of Earth after many millennia have passed, and they broke the big taboo and said, the guys on Mars, basically, Enki did it first, actually. Then the guys on Mars, the Igigi, as they are called. These are the fallen ones, supposedly. And then through them, the race of giants was born, but they were giants themselves, and so it goes, so it goes. So you are still sorting all of this out today. It's important to understand that. Yet, the quality of life that you live with the one you love, or the loved ones that you have, the way you treat your parents, the way your parents have treated you. Of course, you could cringe a little bit on both ends at times. You are humans, you make mistakes. But ideally, what you teach each other and the comfort that you offer each other, think about the things that you were taught. How to do this, how to do that. This is the quality of life that enhances your DNA. When you pass on valuable skills, and when you love the earth, and would not do any harm to earth, this is the advancement of your DNA. Who has a good question?
Peace, this is Asha.
Asha, welcome.
I have a question about, you talk about between lives and how we choose the person we come into and the environment, etc. I'm curious, you may have spoken of this before.
And so just to repeat, she is asking about between lives and how we choose which reality to incarnate into. Please continue.
As a person is pregnant and as the being is forming inside of the body.
Yes.
What is the choice then of the soul coming in to enter, not enter, it's not what I want? What goes on there? What are the circumstances?
They can be as varied and as gentle or extreme as there are types of people on the planet. Some are very clear, boom, boom, I'm in, this is the line I want. I've been here before, I am returning to my ancestral line. I tend to reincarnate into it every 100 or 200 years. I'm following this line, boom, I'm in. They're established, they're this. the greater sense of consciousness in a soul, the greater accumulation of consciousness, the greater flexibility and choice. If a soul comes in and blows it, and does really, really destructive things to themselves, to the planet, to other people, the choices are not going to be that grand. And they may have to wait for a qualifying slot. And the oversoul or the grander soul may give them a shove down the slide when the time comes. In other words, there's your birthing oven. This mom and dad, they're getting ready for you. And sometimes the soul says, I don't want to enter. Or I don't think I can handle this, I'll just go in for a little while. Every event has a purpose. And this is why we say to you, don't cheat, don't lie, don't steal, do good acts. It's going to benefit you in the long run. It's going to give you a greater dignity of the kinds of life you qualify for. When you mess up, you go back to the back of the line. You end up scrubbing toilets in the ether, and then you qualify for starting all over again. Do you understand that?
Yes.
The very best book to read on this is called The Education of Oversoul 7 by Jane Roberts. Anyone read that book? Yes. And in that book, oh, there's the beeper. There was Tweety. She was going to be born. She didn't want to come in. She wasn't sure. She was reluctant. This helps explain to some extent pregnancies and why there are miscarriages and things of this nature. Your doctors will focus it solely on physicality or diet or some kind of poisons or something, but there's large cooperation between the spirit world and physical reality. And often the mother and father will dream for a while and work with the incoming soul in the dream state before the pregnancy begins. And then certainly after the pregnancy begins, there's a long-term dreaming. Some women may take long time getting pregnant because of, in today's world, they won't slow down enough to make a nest. And the souls don't want to come in because they can see they're going to be cooked. And then they won't be healthy. Young women today think nothing of sticking their cell phones and their computers right up against their baby bump. And they're microwaving their babies. You see why the reluctance there is of some souls to come in to the wealthier world now? And why the souls may want to come pouring in if they want to be here in less wealthy clients, because they're not as exposed. Yet today it's everywhere. It's difficult. It is going to be more difficult to come in healthy as a baby. Absolutely. Because today the mothers may have the healthiest drinks, and they may jog and do all this stuff, and then they toast themselves with electronics. And so there's no common sense. It's just trendy cool, trendy cool, trendy cool. I'll just do what everyone tells me to do. Where's the common sense? Where's the grandmothers and the mothers passing on the knowledge of the ages? Where's the grandfathers and the fathers passing on to their sons? Hey son, you know, you'd better protect the family jewels. Laptops. What do you think laptops do? They toast your lap, right? Nobody's answering because you've all been guilty of it. You see why we are frustrated with you? Because you do stupid things, then you want answers to fix the stupidity without changing the behavior. Someone gave me, that's good. It's time to face up to some things. You can produce still good life, but you'd better really clean up your act. As we've said for years, it's very difficult now for babies to be born clear and healthy. You have this huge autism, and then all of this ADD, ADHD, all these letters. People can't focus and pay attention anymore. They can't think. And then you have the Alzheimer's at the other end. They're not clear enough to know how to die. So then they become part of medical experimentation. Think about these things. If there's one important thing we all want to get clear about, it's that when it comes time for you to leave the planet and you are finished with your job, you want a clear, clean, easy exit. No muss, no fuss, no big expense. Understand? That's conditioning your space. But in the meantime, that's a long way off. What's most immediate are the growling stomachs. It's lunchtime. Now we want you to write out a little intention on your lunch hour. And then we want you to discuss with others, whoever you're going to lunch with, what the churches, the religions may have hidden away. Just psychically, and we'll see this afternoon what you come up with, all right? Let's lift the vibration up and pick up the energies really good, and have a good time. We'll see you this afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are here once again for the final stretch. We are going to stretch it out as graciously as we can so that you feel relaxed. You have been satiated. You've taken in a tremendous amount of information. We want you to sit back and relax. If you want to, lie down on the floors. We're going to soothe you a bit this afternoon, fill in some blanks, and help you come to understanding. We have chastised you plenty. You know what our intentions are. You know we are not going to poo-poo you and coddle you into awareness. You realize now what is required of you. So let's have a good time this afternoon. Chet said he wants to have some talks about good sex. We can enlighten you on this a little bit. The Pleiadians, of course, are on the back of the bull, Taurus. Taurus is a very sensual, sexual sign. And of course, you are sensual, sexual creatures. And it is this sensuality and sexuality that allows you to enjoy your experience on Earth. And Earth is a paradise. Understand this. And it is going through a lot of restructuring, eliminating, realization. And in this process of waking up and realizing what you have been a part of course things have to change. Of course things are going to fall away. But it is you and your soul's commitment to come to Earth and to learn about Earth. You are the generators of this energy. We are not creating the events that are happening on Earth, although we are co-creators with you. We have arrived into your system again at the early part of the nanosecond to help guide you through this. And we have made agreements with many souls to be teachers of a voice of reason, a voice of guidance, to give you a bigger picture, to encourage you, to sometimes scold you and chastise you when you are off course or being foolish or whining, and to reward you and applaud you for your courage and your bravery and your understanding. And you reach this exalted state sometimes of understanding and liberation through difficulty. And you have, by this Sunday afternoon here in Sedona, you've really expanded your horizons as to what is possible through personal stories and shared stories and our vehicles tidbits and what we are saying. And of course, Mr. Chet has been tying things together for you. This has been a very cooperative weekend. And it is spring today. And everything is going to move forward very quickly. The springtime represents the moving of energy. And so what a perfect weekend. A perfect choice for you to understand the story. The dark part, the light part, the possibilities, the pain and the cosmos on Earth. And to put it all together and to say to yourself, well, look, I'm figuring it out. I want to be here. I want to work in my body. I am safe. Things may be very tumultuous, but look, I am existing in safety and harmony. And right now, there are places in the world where people are very frightened. Guns are going off and people have no food and they have to defecate in the streets. And this is many places around the world. People are losing their minds. And as someone, Michelle, we believe, said to our vehicle at one point, she said, well, the P's warned us for years that we would come into a time of deep mental instability. And she said, I guess we are here now. You are here now. This is part of the destabilization to create a new balance, not a new world order. We do not see the criminal elements that are operatives of this, let's say, Illuminati battle. We do not see them succeeding. That is very good news. However, we see too many foolish decisions on parts of people thinking that they are going to fight their way through this. That is what disturbs us, not from you, but perhaps from other people on earth. This is why we are a bit hard on you to raise your vibration, to demonstrate peace, not to go broadcast it, but to hold these frequencies higher in your own body and get off those devices so that you can then broadcast to others and stabilize them. Because you cannot see the effects of your energy fields, we empathize with you. You have no idea how much power you have. So in many cases, you are trusting us and what we say as a validation of what's going on. And we've been waiting for quite a number of years for humans to pop a little further and for you to activate greater visual acuity. Then in this capacity, you will have greater faith. Greater visual acuity means you would either see energy fields going out or having a greater sense of direct results, and it's still been in incremental stages. There will come a time when enough of you get off the devices and onto your own and really value it, you will pop something. And you will reach a certain level, a certain frequency, a number, if you call it. They used to have a term for it. It was called 100th monkey. You get the right number, and then it triggers all else. And we are not kidding when we say sense of urgency. So this is what's driving us this weekend, because we know we get the committed and some of the best who come to Sedona, and we know if we broadcast it here in the red rocks, the rocks will broadcast out what gets accomplished here. You follow how this works? All over. And you take it home, and you maybe perhaps will make a little sacred space in your yard if you haven't done so already. If you don't have a yard, and you have simply a condo or an apartment, if you have a patio or balcony or someplace in your apartment, make a little sacred space. You can put anything you want in it, things that are special to you. a special book, a special crystal. You might want to, when no one's looking, find a special rock in Sedona. Take it home with you. Not a boulder, a rock. And have it in this special place as a reminder. You can go periodically and just hold that rock and touch the rock, and it will reconnect you with what has occurred here and what is going on in Sedona. If you have a favorite picture, you can put that picture there. We want you all to make something a little special. If you have yard, this is good. Build some rocks, put some objects on it, put a crystal out there. Learn to have a space that is a sacred space where you have incense to burn, and when you use this space, you have gratitude and appreciation, and you use this altar or space outside as a bounce off of who you are, to connect with all the others who want to stabilize the planet. This would be a good idea. Remember, you have homework to come up with 22 to 25 words that have the letters A and U in it. Anu, you are looking for Anu words. Again, yesterday we said Luna, January. We will give you a clue. We gave someone 2 gold stars, and we are very chintzy on gold stars. But she came up, she did her homework, she mailed it to us from the Washington State. Her name is Danielle. She mailed it, her list of words, and she came up with the award-winning word, 2 gold stars. You want us to tell you what the award-winning word is? It's a brilliant word. Listen to them, they're too funny. All right. How about we play a game? We'll telepath it to you now. Anyone get it? All right. 2 gold star word. You're going to be very surprised as to what it is. 3, 2, 1. We told you we are going to have fun this afternoon. Peanut.
Oh, yeah.
But not only A and U, it has Ia in it as well. Ia, which is Enki's name. Manure? That's a very good one. We use that word all the time. All right. It's quite explicit. And without manure, you wouldn't have fertilizer, remember. So there is a point to some of the wasteful products. All right. So that's your homework. Remember to write on little sticky notes. That's write out conditions and to build a little sacred space. And perhaps over the next hour, we'll come up with about 6 more assignments. We are big on homework. And you know, the busier you are with creating things and doing things, it starts to activate the higher mind, and that is the intention. We are not going to give you 6 more, but there may be 1 or 2 if they roll off of us. So let's intend for some laughs, good time, good questions. How can we inspire you and tie things up and keep you going? Let's hear from some people who have not spoken. What's a good question?
Hi, Peace. I'm curious.
Who is it?
My name's Cindy.
Cindy, welcome.
Thank you. I'm curious to know if other ET races have been responsible for our genetic experiences, genetic makeup.
Well, this is a good question, Cindy. She wants to know, are other ET races involved in the genetic experiment of Earth? Being that you are a living library, you are a magnet for all manner of ET races. It's not that these libraries are everywhere. And again, much life is purposely developed to fit into the ecosystem of Earth and then slowly introduced. The thing about life forms is that they may share a reality, yet they may move into various probable realities around a solid reality. This is an important concept to understand. So yes, we Pleiadians and many other star characters have certainly been attracted to Earth. We have, as Pleiadians, over time, serendipitously, let us say, or even a bit covertly, have played our part in attempting, with intentions to upgrade the human dilemma after the Anunnaki rearrangement. The problem is that the Anus have invaded many star systems in this sector of the galaxy. You are part of the Milky Way galaxy. You are on the fringe, the outer arms. The center is, as we've mentioned, 25, 26, 30,000 light years away. And the Anus are located, let's say, in this sector. Have they gone to other places? Yes, and sometimes they get their rear ends kicked out by other forces, or they can't deal with them. They have been, in some regard, what's the term you use? Isolated, quarantined, blocked off by frequency. So some forces in the cosmos have simply put up energetic walls, a good way of saying it, that the Anunnaki, even in their sophistication, cannot penetrate. When you are of a divide and conquer, tyrannical type of energy, your advancements only go so far. And advancements in technology, it's like having money to buy toys. That's not a big deal, to have advancements in technologies. And the Anus have technologies that everything that you have is still preschool compared to what they have. And they want to introduce some of these super dupers to your planet, yet still keep people mostly primitivos. What they're really after is to reestablish the space program so that payloads of whatever can continue in the old way to be delivered to Mars, Moon, etc., and that they can continue on their hybridization programs, their DNA programs, etc. Other ETs have attempted to upgrade, stop, steal, piggyback, come in. It is quite challenging to live in a genetic library. There are many ways you can take shape and form. On Earth, of course, it is this, what you relate to as this current version of the human form. But there have been many versions of this bipedal version of what you call humanity. You are simply a refined gem in existence that is switched off. And we are here, along with many, many others, who do not make their presence known. We are sort of front people for them, if you want to call us people, front energies for them, to do our job. We are not at the top of any pyramid. We have others to answer to. And you would not even comprehend. That's why sometimes we say, oh, say that louder when you pay us a compliment, or you say we've done something good. We say, did you hear that, our teachers? Just as you want to improve, we also have a duty to perform. And we have those that guide us and answer to us. But they are far beyond what you can conceive. And we, and they, and many others, are concerned that life forms will be lost. And that data that is stored inside the life forms would be eradicated. The Anunnaki understand some of this, and yet on another end they are brutes. It's not a judgment, but they lack refinement. Yet remember, they brought culture to your planet in their terms. Was there culture on your planet prior to their incursion 500,000 years ago? Yes, there have been many cultures on Earth. And there have been many human-like creatures who have walked Earth of all sizes. You come in many varieties. Who else has a question?
Connie.
Who is it?
Connie.
Connie, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Our pleasure.
You have said that when we're getting ready to incarnate,
yes,
that we might incarnate in the future from now or in the past from now.
Yes, people have found that fascinating.
Well, I'm wondering if we incarnate in the past and we have family members who incarnate with us, so we have a group to be with.
You always incarnate in groups. You are not... It's rare for someone to take a shot into reality without soul buddies. Continue.
And we take what we've learned in this lifetime with us to an incarnation in the past. It seems like it would change the past then. So everything seems so much more dynamic than I've ever thought of it before.
And that's as well said. But the thing is, the trick is remembering. Well, that's the trick, remembering, and then coming into a culture where it's cultivated and accepted that as the soul and the individual matures, that they bring multi-timeline wisdom with them. Once this acceptance is understood, then everything changes. But the Anus, for example, in the Eastern world, they encourage the idea, or they allow the idea of reincarnation. But then they say you are going to reincarnate into the same caste again and again. So they spin it. And anything about reincarnation and living again and again was edited out and redacted from many documentations. This is something that in order to control or recycle the souls of humans, the Anus did not want you to know that you had freedom, and the lockdown of the DNA and the brain capacity, you bring it in. And if it's not cultivated, it's difficult to activate those memories. So changing the now, where the most power is to make the change, not because you are in it, because of the celestial milieu, the celestial environment, because of alignments with the galactic center and closing of many time cycles. Again, a rare gem in time where souls have the opportunity to advance to large, massive degrees. That's why we are insistent in saying, if you blow it, it'll be a long, long, long time before the players and the situation can be recreated. In certain terms, you have incredible freedom and comfort to explore these ideas. You are not under duress. You are not going to be punished, rounded up, penalized, inquisitions. This is a rare window to make this happen. And some of you, after you decease this now, you may not want to incarnate into the future for a while. You may find comfort and great purpose into incarnating into one of your favorite past locations and helping raise the vibration there. And ideal is a big distance from real. You would be able to realize what the soul's accumulation is, and to have love, real love, stability, family, pleasure, high level of the arts and understanding, and to be able to work with energy and restore the beauty of Earth. That's a distinct possibility. Anything else, Connie?
Well, it seems like I've always thought of time like maybe a train going down a track from one end to the other, and it just keeps on going, and where that train is now. But considering that we can incarnate ahead of it or behind it, I'm now thinking of it more like a spiral, and maybe the spiral, you might not have the exact same past that was there the last time you experienced it, because if you come in with more experience, everything's going to be different, so it'd be another place on the spiral.
Yes.
But it would still be sort of that same territory or the same geography or something. Does that make sense?
Yes, and in many ways, we have said we come from the future to redo a past. We cannot create it. We cannot manipulate your reality, but we certainly can seed it. And if we can get the players to play out some of these ideas that will create safety and joy and a bit of relaxation and improve your life, then our investment in your now is the intention that out of your now, a blossoming of consciousness stops the tyranny that is growing in our now in the future. It's difficult for the P to wrap its listing little tendencies around this concept. Yet this is a way of understanding reality. Who else has a question? Who is it?
Michelle.
Who is it?
Michelle.
Michelle. Welcome.
Thank you. Wondering if you could talk about implants. So
About?
Implants. Etheric implants?
Implants?
Yes. So them in general, and also wondering if there are some blocking our DNA from reawakening.
Well, the implants fall under the abduction scenarios. The implants are sometimes for tracking mechanisms, just as you put devices on eagles and fish and wolves to understand their habitat and their movements. And sometimes we believe eagles have had cameras attached to them so that you could see what the eagle is doing. Understand these technologies for study. Of course, they hamper your biology to some degree, and there have been different individuals who specialize and have taken some of these implants physically out of the body to have them analyzed in different laboratories, etc. The general consensus is that no one knows what the substance is. It's a form of compounds that are not familiar to your planet. Of course, this would be obvious that any manner of extraterrestrial implant would be foreign material to what you are familiar with here. The interesting thing that people have shared when they recollect their memories, sometimes they remember lying on a table, and again, these abductions or these implants can take place while your body's in the bed. And a dream body of sorts can be taken up, worked on, and then reinfused with your physical body. And what people have reported that frightens them so much is they have strange ETs, often with big heads, the slanted eyes, doing work on them. Sometimes they have seen reptiles over in the periphery. But what really frightens them is they have seen humans in military uniforms standing there, watching while the ETs do the operations. Some of these ETs doing the operations, many of them, are biological constructs. They are what you would call organic robots. Understand, if the Anus in their advancement can genetically take this splice and put it together, their advancement in robotics is beyond what you can conceive. They can create beings that are walking among you, that you have no idea they are not human. They are biological robots. And they are controlled and report to some higher ranking of the Anus. The Anus, and in running their empire, they have found that if they use their genetic tools not simply to make their workers, but to make layers of workers that carry out their tasks. So allegedly you spring from the biological root source of the DNA that can have sex and reproduce and make a human worker, a human experience. These ETs that appear to follow a protocol of operations and carrying out scientific experimentation, they are not independent thinkers. They are, to some extent, machines or clones that are given a certain amount of autonomy to carry out tasks that are very sophisticated and far beyond what your humans are capable of doing. But they are programmed to do this. And this is one of the most disturbing things that you could find in your unfolding future, is that there could be an infusion on your planet suddenly of robotics of various shapes and sizes that have nothing to do with metallics. And they are programmed and run from way up. So the drones that you have that are zooming around and spying on you, little ones, big ones, etc., this is sort of the military being given the technology to have a bit of fun. And of course, R&D in any military organization is always based on ET technology, or looking for the geniuses, because they know that if someone is super smart, au naturel, let's just say, and they have a good IQ and a good brainwave connection, they can be co-opted and set up so that a higher force of energy can then operate through a super intelligent being, and then things can go further and further. It is so beyond quality of life. And it's a disruption. What's happening on Earth is a disruption that is felt in this sector of the cosmos. Why do you think we are here? Why do you think the others come to help you? Yet we can't rescue you. We have to educate you. As if we educate your souls and educate you in the human form, you won't fall for this again. If you are rescued, then you will just recreate it all over again, because you will be rescued in ignorance rather than to earn your way into intelligence. Who has a question?
Kathleen?
Who is it?
Kathleen?
Kathleen.
Actually, my question relates to that. When the Anunnakis were putting together their...
Much louder.
When the Anunnakis were putting together their slave race for gold mining, why were they concerned about the ability of their creations to hold a soul?
Well, because there is a soul or an animated spirit in all forms of life. Without the soul...
But I'm not understanding why they wouldn't be happy with the same type of robotic beings that carry out abductions that are soulless.
Oh, let's say that they have evolved. And over time, now what you are seeing behind the scenes is the sophistication of their evolution, moving to advanced robotics and organics. Atlantis, as you understand it, was a long period of experimentation of what works and what doesn't here on the Living Library, until they destroyed their own systems by going way, way, way overboard and creating life forms. And they used to entrap the souls. Once you get a soul to come in, it's possible to trick that soul into dying a certain way, in fear and ignorance, and then to recycle that soul back again. This is what many accuse the Christians of doing. So this is part of the bigger drama, is that different forms of consciousness and the souls are stuck and they don't know how to get out. It's very easy to get stuck and trapped in a life form or a prison. So some souls will not come back, they're frightened. And they have this trauma of being enticed into a life form and then used in that life form. The concepts we are sharing with you are beyond how you understand reality works, but you will grow into the understanding. We are making it as simple as possible, but it can be a very complex process. Mr. Chet, would you like to add something about the soul? Is he here?
Yes, I am. Yes,
you don't have to, but people have great questions about it.
Yes, I guess maybe my concept is a little different in that I believe that the soul transcends all these extraterrestrials who essentially are in the third and fourth dimensions. It goes beyond that and into higher dimensions, and that we have a part of ourselves who can reach that dimension. And probably the Anunnaki do too, but perhaps they've lost that connection. And I think it's possible in humans to make that connection individually, collectively, but particularly individually, to something wider, greater, bigger. It's been brought up about prime creator, and we are all extensions of prime creation, of course. All life is related. So to me, the soul is that, I'll say it's that communication between these levels.
And that is well said, but we will say this. Part of the problem over the last 500,000 years, that's 500,000 years, is that the Anus have figured out how to police these dimensions and park various creatures or watchers or whatever in these dimensions and recycle humans out of fear or necessity or sometimes glory. They can trick you with glory and get you to stay lower. And so the larger picture is that all life forms could exalt to a much higher level, but it seems the Anus have tricked you and created these layers. You understand the Egyptian hierarchy where in order to go through, they have the Book of the Dead, and you have to go through the 12 gates and jump here and jump there and jump everywhere. This is how they're tricking you.
Yes.
These are all tricks. They want you to think, and they've set up all these labyrinths and layers and blocks and gates. They're confusing the heck out of you. So we will say in all truth that it's very few humans who make it all the way to the central soul, the higher self. Many of you, this is why this is so essential. You are not dying and going up to higher levels. And the reason the planet is full and the reason many of you have great concern over this is you have come back in massive numbers in a time of great freedom, including the internet, to attempt a feat that is an exemplarization of the soul, and that is to restore, for those who want it, we know the Anunnaki use that term stairway to heaven, but they have blocked off that stairway. And they consider themselves, Anu, the name Anu and heaven are synonymous. Anu has taken the name of heaven. And so this is how they control even where the soul wants to go. And the ultimate is to restore an open corridor for human souls to get really in touch with freedom of choice, not to be recycled. It's an answer. Last question.
Would you say that's your objective with us?
Say it again, please.
Keys, would you say that's your objective with us?
Absolutely. Because once that is restored, you have stopped the tyranny.
Right.
And once that is restored, that will make a frequency. We are all about frequencies. We are not about revolution unless it's the mind. We are not. We look for no overthrowing. We teach you to outsmart, to out-frequency, to restore other methodologies. You are stuck in thinking there's only one road over the mountain. And right now it looks as if there is one road over the mountain if you are taking a road. But how about sprouting some wings? And flying over the mountain. And then that way let those who want to fight over the mountain fight over the mountain. Flying over the mountain then puts you in a different probability. It's an example, but nonetheless. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Chet or Dr. Chet. Who has question, comment?
Peas.
Lots of P's there. Let's hear one.
I'm Denise.
Who is it? Denise?
Hi, please, thank you for being here.
Who is it?
Denise.
Denise, all right, welcome. Loud and clear.
Okay, so this has to do with the financial status of the world.
All right, good. That's a good subject to add in here towards the end.
Yeah, and astrology associated with the timeline of everything. So if you do have money in stocks and bonds.
Say it again, please.
If you have money invested in stocks and bonds.
So if you have money invested in stocks and bonds.
Right, and you get it out of the financial system.
What to do with it,
yeah,
yes?
What to do with it. Don't want it in a bank, bury it in your backyard, or what do we do with it?
This is a good question, Denise. What to do with monies if you have it? Some people say, oh, we wish that was our problem. However, it is a challenge. What to do with it? What to do with it? First of all, we trust that if you have excess funds, you are not in debt. So if you have excess funds, pay off every single debt, live debt-free, owe nothing. Then number two, what's your priority to do with this wealth? Do you live where you want to live? Is your home comfortable? Do you have a means of boosting your electrical system if things go down? Very practical. You may want to invest in a solar generator. Unless you live in a highly cloudy environment, you can get some mileage out of this. It is a probability that you are going to be controlled by brownouts. You understand what brownouts are? The electricity only runs for a few hours every day. It's also a probability that other people from around the world will go whizzy-bangy or bonkers, lose their noodles, and they will get possessed by entities who will get them to hack into your infrastructure systems to take down communications, water systems, air systems, all the electrics that you are dependent upon. So it would be a good idea to have some preparation, not out of fear, but out of the Girl Scout model or Boy Scout model, be prepared. And monies, of course, if you put it all in what you call paper money. It is fiat money. You want to have some paper money at home. Those of you who rely on your debit cards, your credit cards, you are going to get screwed. Those of you who think you run to the bank every time you want cash, it's not going to work. You need to have a stash of monies, at least a few $1,000s, in denominations of 50 or 20s and some 1s and 5s that you don't touch. And if that sounds totally improbable to you, unless you are under 40, that's even a shame. If you are under 30, we can understand it. But 30 and over, if you can't manifest $2,000 to use as emergency money and don't touch it, you've got a financial problem. And if you're older than that and you don't have that much cash, you really don't understand money. There's no reason to be poverty, because you are wasting your money on things you don't need. You are doing I want rather than what's my priority. You also would be wise to invest while the money stay very low in precious metals. We believe silver could have a very good investment return in the future. It is the poor man's investment at this time, because silver is about $15 an ounce. With $500, you can get a roll of, we forget how many ounces, 20 ounces or some such there, and buy it in $500 increments. Silver is going to go a long way down the road as a medium of exchange if and when things go kaputski. If they don't, you have something real. Silver is used in computers. It is also used in weapons. And this is why people are projecting, to some extent, if you go into war, that silver is going to be of great shortage. We are not encouraging you to invest for war. We are simply saying that silver is something real and affordable if you do not have a lot of money, and likely if the paper money starts crashing, these silver and gold coins will have acceleration in value. Gold right now is still reasonable. It is about 12 and a half an ounce. That's 1,200. If you have extra monies, find yourself a good financial investor or someone who understands coins. Not a financial manager, because they want to make money off of you. You want to buy coins, a bullion, or even if you want signed coins, you want someone that understands the field. And then you want to tell no one. No one. And you want to find a secure place to put these things. You also need to, on a very practical level, you are going to experience after the election, if not before, a drastic increase in the cost of goods. Very basic things are going to, in some places, go short or become very expensive. Figure out what you use all the time. Toilet paper, tissues, soaps, laundry detergents. Think practical. Life is still going to go on in many, many places, but there may be shortages. There may be trucker, what you call them, not revolts, but strikes. Trucker strikes. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, I'm not going to do this job, we want more, and this is... So the chaos is not going to be so massive, but it's not going to be stable like it is now. And there will be places in probability where the shelves will be emptied and products will not be as available. And let's say the more affluent areas of population are going to probably be supplied first. The poorer areas, or the remote areas, are going to lose supplies. The coastal regions and the more density of population may have supplies. but you have all manner of people of economic strata, and if you are wealthy, living in a high dense population area with lots of poor people, not good, not good, not good. They are going to get angry and they are going to roam. This is the problem. This is the problem. This is what some want to occur. So, what else, Denise?
That's pretty good, thank you.
Say it again, please.
Thank you.
That's it, all right.
Yeah.
That's it, all right. Good, good. Sorry to bring you this bad news, but right now the stock market boosted up a bit, and that's good. But understand, the banks are very close to admitting that they are in really, really bad shape. We believe we mentioned it, or our vehicle did perhaps, that the Deutsche Bank and Swiss Bank each from January 1st to early February lost at least a third on the bank bonds. This is really, really bad. Europe is in a big mess. Japan is already bankrupt. The Soviet Union is not doing well because oil is so low. China is a confusing mess. China is not going to save the world anymore. And lots of, Mr. Trump says, we're going to bring back all the businesses from China. The businesses are going to run out of China because it's finished. And the people are going to get very upset. And China is so polluted. And people are so sick. That it's really not the place to be. It's one of the most exploited lands on the planet at this time. So South America, Mexico is not doing good, Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil. Look what's happening in Brazil. You're going to have Olympics there, the Anunnaki Games, and Zika virus is everywhere. You think people are going to go? It creates a lot of confusion and a lot of fear. And Brazil is broke, so is Argentina. So things are not so good on the financial level, and just understand that at the best there will be in the US cutbacks. And you are already seeing the closing of stores, the closing of retail, and the advertisement is, oh, well, those things aren't needed anymore. Who wants brick and mortar? You can order anything online that you want. But what about when online goes down? And you don't know how to buy diapers? Again, don't get so dependent on the electronic world. There's going to be disruptions within it, either through hacking, through solar activity, or worst case basis, which is a lot that will prevent this from happening, someone detonating something in the atmosphere to create a pulse to blow it all out. There's lots of beings who help when it comes to nuclear detonations. And there are many, many, many stories from the 60s onward about nukes accidentally dropped, accidentally left. Almost. There are so many almosts. And they are thinking, well, how did this? We are so lucky. No, some forces watch this nuclear energy as is their duty, and they stop it over and over and over again. They have ways of doing it. Who has a question?
Yes, this is Michelle.
Michelle, yes, welcome.
Thank you. Since war has been ongoing for ages, I was wondering so most of us have it in our lineage, some closer than others.
What has been going?
War.
War, yes.
And since most of us have that trauma of war in our lineage, some closer than others.
Yes.
I was wondering if there was anything you would recommend beyond intention to heal that trauma of war.
You know, when you heal, as you understand, this is what all of this is about, healing. Healing happens when you revisit the situation. This is why there's been tremendous release for those sucked into Vietnam, even Korea, the other wars, even the Middle Eastern wars. They go back. And they go back to where the greatest trauma was. Of course, it's not there now. And they re-walk the footsteps. Now, of course, you are not going to all have the opportunity to do that. But you may find, especially with the planet Chiron, in the sign of Pisces, and it's got a few more years here in this sign, and then it will go to Aries, and everything will be very, very different. But you probably have about 5 more years of Chiron in Pisces. Chiron, the wounded healer. So wherever Chiron is, it's either wounding or wounded. Right now it's in Pisces. So it's wounding on a karmic level. And so people are recreating karmic wounds. And at the same time, people are healing karmic wounds. So you may find, Michelle, that you are out and about life and you hear about war, or you hear something, a movie, or you read a little bit about something, or something catches your ear, and it may trigger you. And you may think about the pain of those, the confusion of the young boys who fought the Civil War. Some of them who walked across states to get home. You may think about the bravery of what is called the turncoats in all the wars. Those who refused to fire their guns on the enemy because they understood that they were shooting at humanity. And they had been shamed and chased down as if they were betrayers. And so when you seek those memories out, go back and love and hug and hold any memory that comes up of any part of the soul family that has either been coerced into those situations or made foolish choices thinking, aha, I will go to war and I will be great, and then when I come back they will respect me. The person comes crawling back, unable to even speak of the horrors that they have seen. War must be banished. Then you will restore and restabilize Earth. And it is the Anunnaki who taught you war. You have petty scrambles, yes, of course, skirmishes. You lose your tempers. Tribes have fought tribes. This is over territory, usually, over war, or stealing of women. This is, let's say, a lower end of human nature. But the glory of war, the digging into the earth to pull out metals, to make compounds, to make bronze out of copper and tin, to build steel and iron and to forge, and to make metals and helmets to provide the provisions for men to go out and rape and pillage and kill. That's war. That's the Anunnaki game, and they use you again and again and again and again, and you fall for it. And then now in this world they train you on video games. They train the young children to become desensitized, to shoot each other on games. Guns and weapons are the lowest vibes of the Anunnaki. They do not want you to understand that you have their power in you to rise above it. And this is what Enki wants, to some degree. This healing of this devastating wound of war. And yet what are all your movies about? Desensitizing people as things are blown up, And they say, well, if we don't have blow-ups and fights in a movie, no one will go to the movies. Hallelujah. When the movies and the TV ends on your world, you will know you have won. That didn't go over very well with you. When the movies and the TV end, you will know you have won, because you will be in charge and no one will be programming you to be their puppet for war or debased sex. That's what we want to do. You did a good question, Michelle. Anything else?
No, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Who has a question?
Please.
Over here,
Gloria,
please.
Becky?
Becky, we hear your name. Go for it.
Can you talk about water shortages? Like now and
Yes, water shortages because of Neptune in Pisces and Saturn squaring it from the hot sign of Sagittarius. It's going to become very, very evident to people this year that water everywhere, but nary a drop to drink. Samuel Coolidge from the Ancient Mariner. What, 9th grade, 10th grade? Anyone remember that? There's messages everywhere. It's going to become a very big deal. There are many people who will find ways around it. Remember, catastrophe, difficulty, lack, these are what force creativity to come forward. And very simple solutions can be made. The people of, let's say, simple living have learned how to build a simple 2-canister filter water through sand. And sand can often be very effective to clean water. Which, to clean the water is one thing, but to stop the pollution is another. And you have organizations, Halliburton, Monsanto, DuPont, some of the ones in Europe, Pfizer, the drug companies, they are simply after profits. And they hire people that are profit-driven who want to make millions, and they betray humanity. So this is going to become a very big issue, along with perhaps rising coastal areas. Florida is in big trouble. If you live along the coast in Florida, sell it now. But it is even not fair to sell it because someone else is going to get flooded out. They won't believe it right now, but there's going to be rising waters along the coastal regions in the next few years. It could be up to 10 years. It's going to become an issue of some sort. Clean water is an issue. We would say have some kind of filtration systems of sorts, whatever you want to invest in. This is going to be very, 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 very important. We mentioned the headlines of the other day. They let it out of the bag. 2,000 water systems in addition to Flint that are under questionable quality because of leakage of lead from the lead pipes. And the East Coast is the oldest part, New England is the oldest part of the USA, down into the South. Your systems there, some of them are very, very old. It is said, some are writing, that any house is built before 1986 could have the improper piping. And the system is, let's say, needing to be reinvented. Enki is the genius on water. And let's say he will be responsible for sending new inventions about the purity, cleansing of water. However, it will appear to be not some big systemic fix. It will appear to be, as we've said for years, local inventors fixing things, and as soon as you want to go big, someone wants to stop you. Start small if you are one of these inventors, and don't waste your time running around the world going to Bahrain or Dubai or looking for financing on Wall Street. You are a fool if you do this, because they are just looking to see who's got the latest invention, and then they want to screw you. And then they will send a new best friend or a new lover to distract you or watch you from having your invention carried forward. Remember, not everyone is who they say they are. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Not everyone is who they say they are. And if you have something that is going to raise a question, you may be watched by someone who will pretend to be your new best friend. Now we've got your attention. Good. We want you to stay smart and trusting at the same time. We want you to use this dowsing, and we want you to always check your belly. And we will say this: don't fall for any flattery. Unless it's from us, of course. We only throw a compliment out now and again. But watch these things. And water is going to become a bigger and bigger issue. If you live by water, this is good. But the feds are wanting to take over water. They want to stop, they want to privatize water and have water to be, some speculate, the new gold. That water will become the new gold. Just remember that. Questions?
Please?
Yes.
It's Maria.
Maria, welcome.
Thank you. I was wondering if you could talk about the pineal gland.
What about it?
The secrets of the pineal gland in order to reach maybe heightened vibration.
Start tapping it. Just every once in a while. Knock, knock. Massage it, tap it. Relax. When you do some meditations, or meditation sounds so formal, when you do some do-nothings, we like that better. When you are doing your nothings, remember that's part of your assignment too, to do nothing, to relax, to get that chaise lounge. When you are doing nothing, bring your attention there. And it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo. You can buy an indigo stone if you want, or to picture indigo here. And to start breathing, when you're doing your breath, focus here and start to call it into being. There's a screen there that you can activate. You can, some of you want to activate the body, but there are, we believe, a few CDs left in the back that are compilations of our energy exercises, where we say close your eyes, follow your breath, and go inside the body. And we are going to take you on a journey through the third eye into the various dimensions. This is what the energy exercise CDs do. They are, we are going to brag a bit, they are brilliant. They are ours, of course, so we are partial. But we have created words and ideas for you to relax and to use your imagination. Now, you don't have to use our voice and our words. You can make your own, but you must take quiet time and start to picture that there's a screen here. Or you can picture there's a bubble. And you walk into the bubble or walk into a crystal. And we have, in some of our exercises, said, oh, there's a walk in this crystal. There's a wonderful place to sit down. And you are going to start to launch from here. So if you are interested in doing inner activation, find either our energy exercises or guided energy exercises by others, or make your own to use the imagination and to open and activate these chakras. The pineal gland will take you outside of linear time. And you will be able to see visions of future, past, or even concurrent nows that are not around you. The third eye gives vision beyond linear time. That is a way of understanding it. And stay away from fluoride, because that tends to make problems with the thymus gland and the pineal gland, pituitary, all of them. Fluoride does a number on this. Frankincense is a very worthwhile substance. Remember in this story that it's made up, but it's part legitimate. The three wise men, they are going to see the new little babe there, and they bring three valuable gifts. This is part of the real part of the story. They bring what? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Gee, do you think you can manifest those? They would be good. Gold, even a small piece, is highly conductive. highly, highly valued and treasured. And gold is an effective shield against radiation, but it is also a superconductor of current. So to wear a little gold and hold gold on you can transmit what you have. Frankincense is made into, now the easiest way to use it. Oh, you can buy some and burn as incense, but the best way to use frankincense is to get a good essential oil of frankincense. Perhaps it will be 15 or 20 of your dollars or some such. Put a bit on your hand, dop on the hand, and you rub your hands together like this. You warm them up, and then you put them by your olfactory, your nose, and you take a few sniffs, and then you might put another drop or two, and you place it here on the brainstem, in the back of the neck, just below the occipital region. And you'll find that quickly it seeps itself into the body and into the brain, and it can create balance, strength, wisdom, and can open you up. Frankincense has been used also in the exiting process, where it's put on the various chakras to anoint them. The smell in and of itself can open you up and send you to a greater state of awareness. Learn to use simple tools. The essential oils, a very easy way to rebalance the body and to use scent and smell, not only to calm you down or brighten you up or to rebalance, etc., but scent can also help you travel to other lines of time and help you connect with your simultaneous or past lives. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, very good. Very good. Who else?
Please.
Go ahead. I have a who are you?
I'm sorry, I'm asking a second question, so you can shut me down if you want. But my question is about...
First of all, you say, this is.
This question is in regards...
No, who are we speaking to?
I'm sorry. This is Rebecca again.
Rebecca. All right, good. What's your question? You see, the protocol is so simple. Hi, peace, this is so-and-so. Then you proceed. You're wasting our minutes when we have to keep going after you. The clock is ticking. Go ahead.
Yes, it's in regards to the financial question. For people who invested all of their money to try and catch up on their retirement accounts, and that's where the majority of their funds are, and they cannot pull them out.
So people who have put their money in retirement accounts, are you talking about the
401k.
401ks, that's the word we were
You're
looking
not
for.
allowed to pull those funds out.
Without a big penalty. Until you retire, yes?
Well, they only let you take out about half of the amount.
Yes.
You can't take out the full amount even with the penalty.
Now, Rebecca, just as a personal question, knowing what you know now, would you have done that form of investment?
No.
Oh, good. So you learned a lesson.
Research afterwards.
Yes, and so you see that you are encouraged to do things. Oh, you have to do this, do this, do this. But this is, and the people who tell you this, they're just repeating stuff. But does it really work if things start crashing? No. So what to do with it? If you can't take it out,
I can only transfer it into other types of stocks and bonds and funds. I can choose different funds. Is about my only option, or take out half of it.
so you are saying that because your voice is not coming on the recorder and it's dead time, you have limited options. You can reinvestment into other stocks and bonds, but you can't really take it out.
Correct.
You know, one of the things that's going to shock people in this country is that those who have done the most work, who have gone to work, who've had good jobs, and invested in their, what are they called, IRAs and 401s and stocks and bonds and pensions and all this, this could all go kapooey. And it's that group of more, let's say, middle-class affluent workers who followed the rules and played by the game. That's going to be a big source of anger. Because some of this stuff is not going to be there for you. And it's already been recognized that the pension funds, people who invested in their pension funds, disappearing. Remember, the loans are being called in on all the oil investments. And all manner of people and banks. The people who took out the loans cannot pay because the oil is too low and fracking costs too much. And bank after bank after bank is going to go belly up because no one's paying the loans. We hear the beeper. Then in addition, you have over 1 trillion in student loans. 80% of these people will never pay those loans back. 80%. Why? Because there's too many that owe $25,000 or $50,000 and they don't have jobs. And they weren't really trained for anything. Bad parenting. Worse, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunties, and uncles co-signed those loans. You can see where this is going, yes? Are there good people in the government who see this and want to help repair it? Yes. Not so much in the government. Lots of good people who used to be in government, who are not there anymore, who had seen the travesty of what is occurring. And they know things have to be fixed. Greatest potential that you have in this country for disruption are two forces fighting for control, one that wants to restore and one that wants to continue to destroy. Do understand that in the military, in government, and in former government, there are people who really care. They have families, they love this country, and they are devastated at what is occurring. Some of them in the military, of course, their plan is to create some manner of a coup. We will say that the takeout of Antonin Scalia was the beginning of one side attempting to dismantle the other. This is as much as we will say about it. You live in interesting times. That is what the Chinese would say. It is a curse and it is a blessing. But something our vehicle came across in China. Perhaps some of you have listened to our recordings from China. It was a privilege to be there. And there was a fisherman. And he saved the emperor's child from drowning. A humble man. And the emperor wanted to exalt the fisherman. So he built a bit of a shrine to the fisherman. And he engraved some words upon it. And it said, "Think deep, aim high." How's that for a concluding reminder of where to go in the ever unfolding now? Be smart, be humble. Be generous, be a bit skeptical. Be trusting, be aware. Realize no matter how aware you think you are, there's miles and miles and miles to go before you sleep. Bit of poetry there. Dear friends, we are there, we are here. Call upon us if you need assistance. Make good choices. We'll see you again around the cosmos somewhere, but more than likely right here in this seat in 2017 to further expand our stories in the wonderful place of Sedona, Arizona. We thank you, Miss Ruthie. We thank you, Chet Kalista, all the helpers, and most of all of you attendees. We are expecting the best out of you. Prove us to be correct. It has been our very great pleasure. Good afternoon. If clapping raised your vibration, you have done it. Good. We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.